Podcast. My name is Tamalo. With me here today, we have Achilles Star, we have Gradigi, and we have Trev Dog. Hello.
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 Hopefully everyone can hear us. I did glance.
I miss you guys.
Yeah, me too, dude. It's been long. It's been
Ditto.
3 weeks since the last episode.
Yeah, it always feels like forever whenever we have a big 3-week break.
Yeah, that's like, even though we do kind of like every other week, because, time is weird and the way humans count like months and weeks is illogical. That's why sometimes we have a little bit of a break. And, no one can explain it why we do things the way we do. Anyway, I had a bit of a blunder. Do you guys want to hear about my blunder?
Indeed.
Yes, please.
Lay it on us.
So, Joe probably knows what this is about because I have been talking to Joe, but Nate and Trev have never heard of this yet. Anyway, I've been experiencing some audio issues on Twitch. Now, I'm not going to go into those audio issues because that's not the main point, but it sets up this thing. I've been troubleshooting these audio issues with a couple of people, and eventually we came to this conclusion that I should reinstall Chrome. Chrome is the browser that I use. So I'm like, okay, cool. I deleted Chrome, reinstalled, logged in, and I was like, great, I got my bookmarks back and everything works. Let's go back to Twitch and monitor this audio issue if it happens again or not. Eventually I go to YouTube because I watch a lot of YouTube. It's already logged in because the YouTube account that the login details I have for YouTube are the same as I have for my Google account. And then I'm just like, let's just see that everything's as it should be. And I go to my little icon on YouTube and switch account. And what do I not see in the list? The podcast YouTube channel.
Oh.
So then I'm like, well, shit.
Oh no.
And I'm like,
no.
I'm not panicking at that moment yet because I'm like, it's fine. I'll just, I check my shit. I got like a couple places where I store my stuff. And I check those and I find an email address that is like related to the podcast. And I'm like, okay, here it is. No problem. I log in, it logs in, but it's not the podcast channel. And then I'm like, okay, cool. My own personal account is attached to that podcast channel. So obviously I have somewhere an email from YouTube, telling me from what email address I've been like getting, from what email address I've gotten like the permissions to use the channel. Check my email from 2008 when the channel's created. I don't find anything. There's nothing. So then I check all my other emails and there's nothing. Now at this moment I'm panicking because I don't know the email and I don't know the password and I can't fucking submit a ticket anywhere because I can't be to Google like, yo, can you give access to this channel? It's mine, I promise, pinky promise. I don't know anything about it, but I know the name. And then I'm like, okay, cool, but North and old Trevor have access to the channel. North checks, like, I'm like, can you get into it? Yeah, he gets into it. He tries to search for the email with his phone. He doesn't find it. Then Trevor messages me and he's like, yeah, I get in. I'm getting in. He screen shares the fucking thing to me. And we find it. We find where the email is. But because Trevor is not the primary owner, he can't fucking see it.
Oh my gosh.
That sucks.
At this moment, I'm like, it's lost.
Oh my
It's lost. It's
God.
gone forever. I can't do anything about it. So this is what I did. I downloaded every episode because I don't have them anymore on my PC. And then I created a new account. And then I went to bed. And I'm like, tomorrow I'm gonna upload everything. And then I wake up. And then I go to YouTube. And I go to switch account. And what do I not see on the fucking list? the new podcast channel.
Oh my god!
So, but this time I'm like, I'm a smart boy.
Oh,
I have the logging details
Oh my
at
God.
hand. So I log in and boom, your account has been suspended due to unusual activity. And
Oh,
I'm
there
like,
you go. You're a bot.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like devastated. I don't know what to do anymore. So my last ditch effort was to just, submit a support ticket. I had no like expectations that they would ever answer me or anything. But I shot them a message, and I shit you not, 2 hours later, I get a message back. We have reviewed your case and we have restored the account to you. Holy shit!
Wait, the original one?
No, the new one.
Oh, okay.
Because I
No,
don't
I
have
think the
access.
original is just gone forever.
Yeah, that's gone forever.
Wow.
So introducing to you guys who are listening, if you are subscribed to the old channel, you will not see new videos on it. This is the new channel. And I highly fucking recommend clicking on that link and subscribing to that YouTube channel. And also unsubscribing from the old one. The old one is empty. Trevor went in and unlisted every video, so they're not available anymore there.
Oh yeah, you just had to re-upload everything.
Oh yeah.
That sucks.
How did Trevor unlist all the video? Oh, because he had access to log into the
Access
account,
to log
but just
in,
not
but
make
not-
any account changes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. So he had rights to change. Okay, gotcha. Wow.
Yeah, I downloaded every episode, I remade every thumbnail, and I uploaded everything. And that is also when I discovered that there's an upload limit. 16 videos per day.
Yeah. There is. Yeah, I've seen people talk about that.
And I do understand, because I subscribed with my personal account to the new account immediately when I made it. And once I started uploading, I released those videos incrementally every hour. And my sub box was filled with these fucking podcast episodes.
Oh god.
Solid.
Huh. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a string of events.
Partially saved.
You would think that he could email them and be like, "Hey, we lost the primary email account. Is there a way that we could just know what the Gmail, like just know what it is?" And I mean, that seems so weird to me that somebody on it can't actually just see what the Gmail, like the name of the Gmail account. That's the crazy.
That surprised me too, because Trevor could he could delete content from the channel and unlist them like he did per my request, but he can't see a simple Gmail address.
Yeah, that seems insane.
Yeah, that's wild.
Because we found the spot where it should be. Because I was watching when Trevor was in the account, and I was doing the same thing with my personal account, and I know where to see it, but it says you are not the primary owner, so you can't see the fucking thing. Stupid.
Well, we do have Pantslesspodcast.com. So
Just
At any
chill
point
it
in
all
time-
the time.
yeah, we can. Yeah, right now it just redirects to the Twitch channel. But some point in time we need to get together and let me know what we could put the YouTube stuff on there. We could put the links on it, and
When did
you
we
know,
get
just-
this?
No, Nate just made it.
Yeah.
I just bought it on a whim.
Okay. I was like, whoa, I didn't know
forgot how
about
that-
this.
It was
we
one
were-
random
we were-
Saturday or something, and you were like, "Hey guys,
think-
guess what?"
I think I'd been drinking a little bit, and I don't remember what we were talking about, but we were talking about something, and I was like, let's just see if it's available. And pantslesspodcast.com was, and I was like, I already own 15 domains. What's one more? So I just threw it on my Google domain account, and so it's there, and we can do whatever we want to with it.
Yeah, if this podcast ever goes to, crap, and you can, I don't know, Mark Rober, because you're taking that class. You just kind of like pitch an
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
Hey, what about you do this podcast? And then you sell him
Right?
the domain name after he realizes it's not.
It's not
There's your
good.
profit.
I'm a little surprised that he hasn't started a podcast yet. He only does one YouTube video a month, and then he was doing more during COVID, where he was doing like science classes for kids. But that dude is just insanely smart and ingenuitive. Is that a word?
You work for
Ingenuity.
NASA.
I don't know.
But he's got that he's a special he's got the knack for not only all of the engineering side, but he's got media down. Like he knows how to YouTube hard. And and to combine those two things. I mean, his videos are amazing, and
I think he's extremely camera friendly and very watching his videos. They have a high production value, and he's incredibly good at like speaking to an audience. And
he's great at explaining really difficult stuff, and that's the reason why. I mean, I'm an engineer. I have my degree, but the reason I took his class is I was like, there's always something you can learn, no matter what it is. Whatever the topic is, especially from somebody that's smarter than you. But even when it's not, there's always something you can learn. And so to have that opportunity to kind of see a little bit more in depth of how he does what he does, and he was a NASA engineer, he was an Apple engineer, arguably one of the most successful YouTubers for all. I mean, he has like 6 Guinness World Records. So it's been a lot of fun. There's 2 weeks in. I've only been through the first week. I gotta spend some time getting caught up real soon. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and cool to kind of see how some of these really big YouTubers, what they do to make their shit be as good as it is.
Yeah, I think one of his big strengths is, like you were saying, where he can explain some very complicated shit at a level that everybody's gonna understand it, because it's like it's not uncommon, but it's not super common for people to be at that level while also still socially aware. And I don't mean that in a bad way. But,
no, it's
once
yeah.
I mean it,
For sure.
once you hit a certain point, I've been around my fair share of network engineers and software engineers myself. And once you hit a certain level, you're just kind of not an asshole, but you just got you got something about you that
we're
okay, maybe asshole.
Not intentionally. That's the difference. People don't realize it's not intentional. It's just,
well, no, and it's not even that. It's just like anyone that like my old boss. He was way up here, and we were way down here, and he didn't say it, but his actions let us know constantly. But Mark Rober doesn't have that. Like he is here, and he makes you think you are also here. It's not accurate, but he makes you think that. And that I think that's his biggest strength, is that he can do such complex things. I've watched the statistics one where he just goes into a kid's Play Store. I've watched that one like 3 or 4 times. I love that video. The way he breaks everything down, I love it. I love that video.
Yeah,
I think Rober. I think like one of the big reasons why he is so good with like explaining things is also his desire to just teach people. More than like, I know he has like a high degree and he's an intelligent individual, but he wants to teach people different things.
He has this special characteristic, like him and Neil deGrasse Tyson is another person that I immediately think of when I think of it, where they want to be famous, but they don't want themselves to be famous. They want their craft. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson said, he was on a podcast I listened to, and somebody asked him like, how often do like people come up and ask you like, instead of it, do people always come up and ask you science questions, or do people come up and ask you personal questions? And he said something that just kind of blew my mind. He's like, if somebody comes up to me and asks me like, Nia, what's your favorite color? Instead of, how many stars are within a million miles. He says, I feel like I've failed at my job. He said, because I don't, at that point, they're interested in me, and I don't want them to be interested in me. I want them to be interested in the science, the astronomy, the astrophysics. He's like, that's what I want to get people excited about astrophysics, not excited about Neil deGrasse Tyson. And I think Mark Rober's the same way. He wants to get people excited about engineering, not excited about Mark Rober. And when you find somebody that has the knowledge, the skills, and the personality to be able to put that together, it's extremely unique. And to me, like, people are like, bitch about humanity is going down the drain. Like, yeah, there's a lot of shitty people, but there's people like that too that are just genuinely good people. And they're gonna make mistakes. I'm sure Neil deGrasse Tyson's not perfect. I'm sure he's done and said things in his life that people don't like, whatever. But as a whole, when it comes to their craft, that's what they care about. And I think that's just completely awesome. And there are other people out there I know that 100% feel the same way, but those are just two big ones I could think of off the top of my head that are like that.
Yeah.
Now I need to know his favorite color though. I'm curious.
He probably
he
probably has a very snarky comment about not having a favorite color.
Colors are all just reflections of light and how your brain interprets them as reflected from the surface, delivered to us 1.3 trillion miles from the sun. So colors are an illusion, a construct of human mind.
He might have said something similar to that.
I find Neil deGrasse Tyson a little bit condescending. I'm not a fan of him.
Again, that's what I was saying though. Like, Mark Rober has it better than Neil deGrasse Tyson, and Neil deGrasse Tyson even has it, but he's not like there. Like, Neil deGrasse Tyson is up here, and he wants you to think you're only right here. Like, you're still close, but I'm still.
That's a good point. Yeah,
I'm still an astrophysicist. Where Mark Rober, he wants you to both like you said. I'm sure Neil deGrasse Tyson has probably said some regrettable things, but he overall, he's a fine guy. But he doesn't have
anyway. But
he doesn't have the Mark Rober.
No, I don't hate the guy or anything, but he's condescending. He can't help it.
And everybody has. I
understand that, but it's like I'm just tired of people putting up Neil deGrasse Tyson on a pedestal when there's better people to put up on that pedestal.
Well, I was using it as a comparison. But I 100% get what you're saying.
No, I don't mean you in general. I just mean the internet in general. Like, because Neil deGrasse Tyson is very, very famous because of what he knows and what he's taught people. And I'm not going to take that away from him. Like, he's a very smart genius and, intelligent, and he knows his shit. Obviously he knows. But I don't think as a teacher or a presenter, I don't think he, because there's not I've dealt with people. I see what you're saying,
for sure.
I've dealt with so many people that are smarter than me, and they really make me like know it. And I think those are the people that should not be put in the forefront of like teaching people about these things. Because when I hear Neil deGrasse Tyson speak, I'm like, I want to fucking punch you in the face, you motherfucker.
Oh, that's funny.
And it's my problem.
So now I'm curious, Trevor. You are quite a bit younger than us.
See,
probably me more than I don't know how everybody else is here, but I'm guessing I'm a little bit up there. So Neil deGrasse Tyson is different, I think. Like, I think Mark Rober will be this as he gets older, and it may be an issue of age, of like, for how long Neil's done it versus how long someone like Mark Rober's done it. But I'm just kind of curious, like, somebody like that, or like LeVar Burton. We have, my generation particularly has a really fond attachment to him over, reading Rainbow. So how do you perceive that? Those people that are like that. I guess Star Trek. but I'm always wondering how that, like exactly like Tom was saying with he definitely comes off as arrogant now. I'm not going to deny that. So kind of curious how that plays into someone who's I don't know how the generation. I guess I'm technically a millennial, but
Who's your Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yeah.
Who was your Bill Nye the Science guy, Trev?
there you that is a better
okay.
example. Wait,
Who was your Bill Nye the Science guy?
Well, what they showed a lot of Bill
that is a
Nye
better
in class.
example.
I will give you that. You know what? I don't know if this is a Southern thing. This is so because I can't like you're talking about like smart guy. I don't know why our school. This might have been just a Alabama school thing. We have Dr. Seuss Day, and I don't know why that's the thing that comes to my brain when y'all say that. But it was a whole day where you celebrate Dr. Seuss, which is a really weird thing to do now that I think about it. But like each grade would do like an arts and craft inspired by it. But like, I don't know. I don't think we put anybody on one pedestal. I feel like the younger generation, and me included, think very highly of themselves, right? So you don't really want to look up to the top and be like, oh, I'm way down here. Like maybe it's just the college mindset. It's like a lot of people I talk to feel like they are the top. And I don't know. I definitely. What was the guy that you said your generation, Nate, had an attachment to? Because I've never heard of him. I'm gonna be honest.
Bill Nye?
Oh, Lamar.
No, not Bill Nye.
You've never heard? Oh, LeVar, but you've never heard of
LeVar
LeVar Burton?
Wait, what's he
LeVar
done?
What?
Read Rainbow, dude. Take a look at the book.
What?
Wait, who? Lamar? Not Lamar
LeVar
Jackson.
Burton.
LeVar
Burton.
LeVar Ball comes up before LeVar Burton. And I'll tell you, LeVar Ball's crazy.
Did you hear he's wanting to host Jeopardy?
LeVar Ball?
Yes.
LeVar. Yeah,
No.
I'm on board for LeVar Burton hosting Jeopardy. I will start watching
yes.
Jeopardy again.
Yes.
Vice
100%.
Vice
100%.
published an article 9 hours ago. For the love of God, let LeVar Burton host Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't.
Do you not know?
I don't watch much
Take a
TV
look.
or movies,
It's
right?
in a book.
Reading Rainbow. So, yeah.
Do you know? Do you know what Reading Rainbow is?
I don't know what that is at all.
Oh man, it was a show that I think it's been so long. It would basically just take a book and turn it into like a short animated story that LeVar Burton would read along with you.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. That's
I grew up.
That's a perfect example of
The cartoon that came out when I was growing up was SpongeBob. I've watched.
Well, it
countless
wasn't.
hours
You can
of
watch
SpongeBob.
both, Trev. You
No,
got
no.
30
That
minutes in a day.
I don't know when this show came out. I'm trying to give you all a time frame.
No, it was like
early 80s. Early 80s.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
80. It was out before I was born, so probably 84.
The show
Really?
died. The show died in 2006.
Okay,
It was
well,
still going in 2006.
That's wild.
Thank you, hon.
Wait, what year did it start? Early 80s sounds real
No,
early.
83 to 2006.
I don't know. My
Holy
wife.
cow.
Oh, 83. All right, see, it was.
Man,
83.
I was thinking like late 80s. Dang, I had no idea it was that old.
No, I knew it was out when I was born, because my brother had watched it. Like my brother had been watching it and he's older than me. But Trev, so what it was LeVar Burton had this bus, and he would have kids that would come, and he would like open a book and he would start reading it to them, and then like as you were saying, they would animate it. Have you ever seen Harmon Quest, Dan Harmon's show where they play
I've heard about it, but I haven't watched it.
Oh, well, it's similar to that, just as far as like they're talking, but then they animate like what's happening.
Okay, yeah. I think I get the premise.
That
that's
was
the
the first place I heard the story of the tortoise and the hare. LeVar Burton.
What a treasure.
Yeah, American
Yeah, I love 'em.
sweetheart.
I'm legit though. I've never heard this man, and
Wow, well, I'd never heard of LeVar Ball, so
Yeah, me
Yeah,
neither. Who's LeVar Ball?
LeVar Ball is this crazy dad of the Ball brothers that are in the NBA, like LaMelo Ball and
Didn't he like start his own company?
Yeah, he started the
his
BBB, the
kids
Big
out?
Baller brand.
The Big Baller brand.
And
Okay, well.
he was a meme. He's not. He is nobody to look up to.
It's very disappointing that when you type in the word LeVar B, is it really? Sure enough,
Yeah, no,
LeVar Ball.
LeVar Ball pops up.
That is disappointing.
What have
Just
we
shows
come
that
to?
LeVar Burton hasn't done anything.
In a very long time. Yeah.
And
I mean,
and
he was
was
on
in Community.
Community.
Yeah, he was in Community.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
wait, I've seen some Community. Who was he?
LeVar Burton.
He had a
He was just
cameo.
LeVar Burton.
Yeah, he had a cameo
One of
in a
like
couple
3 black
episodes.
guys that ever showed up on the
Oh.
entire
Oh my
show.
Oh my god. Whenever he showed up and Troy is just like, "You're LeVar Burton." And that's like the only thing he said.
Hilarious.
Yeah, he
You shouldn't have done
idolizes-
this. You knew what it'd be like.
Idolizes.
Oh yeah.
He idolizes Burton. And he doesn't want to
Oh yeah. I
meet Burton
totally
at all.
forgot about this. Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
totally forgot about that. That's why he was
Yeah.
on the show.
Yeah. It was a something that Pierce did as a present to him or something, and he just totally locked up and just stared at him for like 10 minutes.
Wait,
Yeah,
is
we
Jeopardy running right now? Who hosts
Um,
Jeopardy right now?
No,
I don't know.
They're doing
I think
guest-
they've. Oh, have they?
They're rotating. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So they're
okay.
just like it's different people. I don't watch Jeopardy, but I see it all the time. Like blah 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 is hosting Jeopardy. But yeah, so I don't know if they're like they get a week to do it or if they just get one episode. I would assume it's got to be more than one episode, but
Yeah, it's probably a week because I think they do like a week at a time. Like one day they film like 4 or 5 episodes, or probably even more than that. And I know that they they had actually Alex Trebek, God bless him, from Beyond the Grave still hosted for like a month. They had that many episodes like put back. It was like
really,
it was like 3 weeks or something.
They do like
Well, they
like
probably
those,
crank out a bunch of episodes.
Yeah, that's
in, like,
the
one day.
production of those types of shows usually. Like a lot of people who work in game shows, they feel like that's the best work because they film an entire season in like a month, and then they're just off.
yeah.
Anyway, you guys want to hear some industry news that is closer
Yes.
to us?
Oh yeah, we do
Yes.
that here.
We don't talk about LeVar Burton all day.
This is the LeVar Burton show now.
YouTube.
LeVar Burton fan cast.
This is related to Twitch though. Now this probably hasn't impacted us in any way, but I'll just read these tweets. We've been monitoring the rise of fake engagement on Twitch and have identified 7.5 million accounts that break our TOS by follow botting and view botting. We're taking action on these accounts and appreciate all of the reports about the issue. So what Twitch has done is they've deleted 7.5 million followers from people. Now I checked my own stats. I have not lost practically anyone. But
Yeah, I was about to say I don't think I have any bots following me.
but a lot of big channels have. I mean, Soda Pop
Oh.
lost like 2 million, I think, and
Oh my gosh, that's nuts.
like most of the bigger channels have lost like 1,000 or a couple thousand.
Would that
I would-
incorporate like accounts that aren't active anymore? Like say you made, because Soda Poppin's like OG streamer. Say you made an account.
No, it's
like
it's bots.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
If it's, I don't think they count dead accounts with that. But
Got
I
it.
do believe that if you like have a dead account, there's a certain amount of years that it passes, and then the account gets like deactivated automatically. That's what most sites actually do.
makes sense.
But
So
yeah, it was kind of like a non-story, but it relates to us. In
well,
some way.
I think
That's
what's
interesting.
really important about that whole story is that I keep seeing stories where like such and such streamer got 10,000 follows or 1 million or 2 million or 4 million follows in 2 days, and they were all bots. So my guess is they did that to prevent people from whoever's controlling 4 10 million bots, whatever it is, from taking them and just hopping them to a new streamer. So they delete them. That's all these new accounts that people have to set up. And you say, well, if they set up, 4 million before, they can set them up again. But it's not as easy to set up a Twitch account now as it was, say, 5 or 6 years ago. So if somebody had set up, millions of accounts 7, 8 years ago, and they're just sitting on them, botting every once in a while or whatever, it would be much harder to reproduce that today. So I think the impact is probably not as big as it is on people that lost the followers as it is on somebody that might randomly, or if I don't know. I mean, I don't want to accuse. I'm not trying to accuse anybody. I'm just saying, um, that's part. Obviously, you got to look at that part of it. But I think that's more of it is to just because if that guy lost, Soda Pop loses 2 million viewers, 2 million followers, it really doesn't mean anything to him. But if one of us suddenly got 2 million followers over the course of a week, you'd be on the front page with, as an affiliate and not as a partner. And that you could very quickly get partner very fast like that. So
I
I
mean, you
think
don't
that
get partner
to me
because of followers. You have to have concurrent
no, I know
viewership.
you do, yeah, 75. But getting to the front page is this pretty big deal for getting viewers. So and what they'll do is they flood them in, and they don't do it all at once. They'll send 200,000 follows, and then hours or days, next day or whatever, another 200,000, and they'll do that. So you'll see these things where they got 500,000 followers in the last week, and that keeps them on the front page, and then that just grows it faster and faster. And
When
again, I'm
you
not trying to accuse anybody.
when you talk about front page, do you mean the curated front page that Twitch chooses? That is on the front page.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But according to them, the way that they do that is based on activity, and followers is a big part of that activity.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they choose and who they choose. I would
That
at least hope
that is
that
what they claim.
I would hope that they choose like real fucking. Because if I get 1 million viewers today or followers today, Twitch would never choose me on the front page. They would have to like look into my history and see like this looks pretty suspicious. This random dude with like, no followers getting 1 million follows.
Well, so that's why I say. So that's why they don't just give 1 million followers. They'll trickle them in. Even people that are botting somebody that, like I said, I never want to accuse somebody of botting without proof. I don't ever want to say that anybody bought. I mean, it's very obvious. Even some of the very big streamers bought it at the beginning. And people get mad about even that if that's how they did it to get famous. But if they are able to sustain it, kudos to them or whatever. But I think it comes down to it's kind of like the hype train they have now. It's a similar idea with that, but just strictly followers. You don't get hype. You can't get on the hype train based off of followers. It has to be monetary. Subs, bits, that kind of stuff. But I'm pretty sure most of that, because if you go to your front page and I go to my front page, it's not the same, right? Like our front pages will be different. So there's not people curating that individually. That is 100% an AI curating the whole thing.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
it is.
like I can accept that it's an AI, but I would at least hope that the AI is fucking programmed to do
Right.
something specific, and not choose like people who view like they follow about themselves and then they are on the front page. That seems like such a simple thing to like not happen.
It all depends on how the metrics are weighted. If their bots aren't smart enough to, if all their metrics kind of lump into one activity pool, then followers could definitely just be enough to push
Actually,
it to the front page.
I believe it's weighted, and I believe it's weighted heavier on followers than it is on some subs because it's easy. I mean, it's easier to get a bunch of followers than it is to get a bunch of subs just by the simple, followers clicking a button, the subs, paying money. So from what I understand in their algorithm, it is heavily biased towards followers.
This seems incredibly
And that's
retarded.
I
Yeah.
think if they can fight the bots. So all this is reactive, right? Not proactive. just like the DMCA stuff, just like every tech company on the planet, CP on YouTube, um, uh, Reddit as a
But I mean,
whole.
like, if they build a bot to like choose something on the front page, then why not set parameters to it? Like,
You don't care.
this is simple. I can figure this out in 5 seconds. I mean, if they don't care, then why delete bots then in the first place?
because they already have the
Because
money
now
now.
they do.
Yeah. So there's like, and this is one of the things that always bugs me whenever people who stole money and then made oodles of money and then have to pay the money back as recompense. So you've already gained the benefit. Like, even though Twitch didn't directly benefit from those followers, that's still traffic. Like those, like if I bought 1,000,000 followers and Twitch didn't say, hey, those were bots, it would be really impressive that I, some schlub from Southern Illinois, got 1,000,000 followers, and that would bring more people to the site. So they didn't care about those bots because those bots were making them money. So now someone has finally decided, you know, we've got enough money. People are starting to complain a whole bunch. We should do something. And canceling them now, they've already gained the benefit from those bots.
I guarantee the complaints came from the advertisers. I 100% guarantee they did it because advertisers said, we're not going to pay you for views from bots. Get your bot shit under control, or we're not going to advertise on Twitch anymore.
But what does it matter if there's 100 people watching an ad and then 1,000 bots, and you remove the bots? There's still 100 people watching the ad. So what does it matter if it's a bot or a person?
CPM is per 100 views. So if I'm an advertiser and I'm paying you $1.50 for every 100 views, and you have 100 real viewers and 900 fake viewers, I should be paying you $1.50. In fact, I am paying you $10.50. Now, do that 1,000,000 times in one day.
Yeah, so they're paying for the fake ones then.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A viewer's a viewer. So if they don't get it under control, then advertisers can 100% say, listen, we're gonna and it could have even been, I mean, we don't know about the inner workings of Twitch, but I'm guessing one of two directions. Either advertisers said, get your shit under control or we're gonna pull, or more likely, now that I'm thinking about it, is they might say, hey, you guys have too many bots. We're gonna estimate 50% of your views are bots. So that means we're gonna pay your CFM 50% less. And they're gonna go, oh, for one, Twitch is losing money, and now the big Twitch stars are gonna start losing money, and the Twitch stars are gonna go, get your shit together. So now they're getting pressure from multiple places. I mean, it just, if they didn't have pressure from a monetary point of view, there's no reason to do it. It's just like, why doesn't Warzone, Call of Duty, do anything about their bots? Well, they finally got rid of their botters from one website. And the whole conspiracy theory behind that is that those other ones are actually sold to that other company, that they're actually selling hacks themselves. This is a conspiracy. I have no proof. There's supposedly, letters and shit. Some guy claims to have proof. But the conspiracy say that they're selling those hacks, somebody inside, and that the whole reason that they're shutting down is that they're actually not fighting bots. They're fighting competition, because hacking is a big money maker. And if EA can double dip, well, I guess, yeah.
Activision.
Activision.
I don't think Activision does it themselves, but I'm gonna use the same argument as you guys. Activision doesn't do anything because they already got the money. As long as people are buying Call of Duty, they don't give a shit about hackers.
Yeah. Well, and to circle around to that, they're not saying Activision is personally selling it. They're saying an employee at Activision is selling the hacks and is pulling the strings and stuff like that. So I just, it's, it's fun. I like that kind of shit. I think it's hilarious. So I like to read it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's impossible. I mean, the one EA employee got busted for, selling those footpack cards.
Yep.
And God knows how long he, did that. And I mean, I don't know, like, how much because I don't know, like on one level, like I'm like all in. Like, of course the companies are selling the hacks themselves. You know, why wouldn't they double dip? But on the other hand, it's like, if someone would expose this shit, that would be like real
Huge.
bad.
But what if they what if they threw the conspiracy theory out there? Now they've got one guy. Everybody knows it's one guy. And now they don't have to take the whole company down. Now they just fire one dude. This conspiracy theory's been going around for months and everybody knows it's one guy. We just got to fire somebody. Boom,
Yeah,
done, handled.
The expose comes out and it's that one guy. It's like,
That
sorry,
one
dude.
guy.
Sorry,
That's
dude.
Sorry, man.
That's a
And like behind
conspiracy
doors,
production if I've ever heard of one.
behind the
That's
door,
a
behind
conspiracy
the closed
theory for
doors,
conspiracy.
they've already like negotiated with that one dude. Like, when you do get exposed and fired, don't worry, we got your back. You get a huge severance pack. You know, we've made billions, you make millions. It's all good, dog.
Yeah. You also won't go to jail ever, and you won't
Yeah.
have to pay for anything.
It's not technically illegal.
To address your question about they've already got the money, that's not actually true though, because they make money, I mean, way more money off of that season shit they sell. So they need the player base. They want the player base. They want you to keep playing your game as long. I mean, look at Rocket League. Rocket League's been.
Yeah, but I
God,
get
I
that.
don't-
But
I
I
don't
still
really know.
I still say that they got their money because the player base is still growing. And
It's true. Yeah,
they
you're
buy
right,
the new
yeah.
game. They buy the new game every November, and they play that game exactly 1 year, and then they buy the next game. There's a reason why Call of Duty is the most sold fucking franchise in the world. It's
Oh, yeah.
because idiots fucking buy that shit, and they buy the season passes, and they buy all the other crap that and the community, they hail Activision as the greatest fucking company ever when they released Warzone for free. But
Ain't free.
I mean, of course it's not free because the next thing you do, you buy the fucking season pass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rose has a question.
Yeah. About me playing Wii Sports. or
Love it.
I played off topic, but now on topic. I played Wii Sports Resort for 5 hours. I played ping pong.
What? That's awesome.
Like 4 days ago, and
God,
that stream was wild. And my girlfriend showed up halfway through because she got off of work, and then started yelling at people, saying if they sub, she will do things to me like dye my hair and paint my nails. So Rose, I now am obligated to dye my hair purple temporarily. I'm not, but I do. I want to
God.
do it. I want to do it tomorrow, but I've been juggling band practice. So sorry if that was off topic, but there were.
No, it's not off
Dropped
topic
the
at all.
light.
Now I feel like I really got to watch that VOD.
Oh, Wii Sports ping pong kicked my ass. That was so hard.
Did you get it? Did you get there?
Yes, I got there eventually. It took me, I think we listened to inspirational quotes on stream for about 20 minutes, and then I did it.
That's where I had to bail. Not because I'm not into inspirational quotes, but I believe that is where I left, was in the middle of the quote.
It was so stupid, but it was fun. And I've got my
Friday.
I think it was Saturday.
tomorrow- I can't. It was Saturday. Yeah, it's been about a week. It's because I've been personal life. I'm in a band. I've said that a bunch. We have our concert next week, so we've been trying to practice a bunch so I can make moolah on next Wednesday. But I finally got all my stuff to hook up my Wii, so we should be good. And I don't think we're having band practice tomorrow. So if anyone cares, Wii Sports.
Oh, I care.
Nice.
I'll be there.
Did y'all
Wait, what time?
grow up? I grew up on the Wii, right? Which is really weird to think about. But like I played GameCube from like birth to about it came out in like 2005. So like birth to 5 years old. So like early childhood is like end of GameCube, early Wii. That was, I guess y'all were a bit older, but not. I'm trying to guess.
The games I grew up on were on the Wii.
Hey.
I can say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of my
It's just
favorite games are on there.
Wii?
That's crazy to me. That I legitimately thought everyone owned a Wii at some point.
Oh,
I mean, the Wii came out when.
Wait, did your family own a Wii at
No.
some point? Oh, damn.
My grandpa owned a Wii.
Dude.
You like that fishing game?
Mean, the Wii came out in what, 2006?
Yeah.
I think so.
2006, I wasn't allowed to play video games, so.
Oh, that'll do it.
Yeah, we didn't have a Wii. And then I moved out in 2008 and
Bought a Wii?
Became a PC player.
There you go.
And
There you go.
And like ever since, from the moment like when I was 18 to like today, the only console I've had like in my own place is the PS4 right next to me.
Wow. Yeah, we got up extra early on a Sunday. We got up extra early on a Sunday to go to Target to get my Wii.
I remember my parents coming home day one because our family had pre-ordered it, and then I was 5 at the time, which was really weird. But yeah.
Yeah, I remember that was I think it was the year that we got a stimulus or something, and I was so pumped because we were pretty broke, and we were getting a new console, and it wasn't even like, it was like March or something. It wasn't even Christmas, and I was so pumped because that's it. Like whenever I grew up, we didn't get new games like during the year. It was your birthday and Christmas. And I was born in October, so I had a very short window where I was getting new video games.
Mm-hmm.
So
October
like for us
gang.
we got that big government money check, and we went over to the Targets and picked us up a Wii.
Yeah.
I'm just
Really
having a lot of nostalgic feedback from setting it up and playing Wii Sports again.
Hey, we only owned Wii Sports and Twilight Princess whenever we got it, and we played Wii Sports way more than we played Twilight Princess.
Oh yeah.
That's the only two games
that
you
makes
need.
sense. You play Twilight Princess once, and you play Wii Sports over and over and over again. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Twilight Princess is weird because that came out on the GameCube, and but then they had to mirror the game because most people are right-handed and Link's left-handed. And one of my friends played it on the Wii. I grew up playing it on the GameCube, and he came over and legitimately got a headache because everything he'd seen for 25 hours playing the game was exactly the opposite of what he'd been looking at.
Yeah, that's the only game. I was actually about ready to say that because it was I was like so excited that it was coming out with motion controls. I was like, finally, a game for me. And then they made him a righty.
Oh my god. Well,
Yeah.
Trev, to put it in perspective, you said you were 5 when you got your Wii.
Yes.
So I would go. We had a bar in the town I went to college that had a Wii, and we would go up there to play Wii bowling on Saturday nights and drink beer.
This is really a
So
melting pot.
if that puts you in perspective a little bit about, yeah.
I will be able to
and
drink beer in 6 months. There you go.
Woo! Hey, come on over to Texas.
We can
We can all crack a beer on the podcast when that happens.
Hell
we'll
yeah.
do that.
For sure.
Absolutely.
I'll definitely be sure to have a fat tire ready.
Speaking of streams that and beer, when did you do that stream where you just chugged White Claw? Joe?
that was a couple weeks ago.
That was a
That
great
was-
time.
Yeah.
That's what I did for April 1st. So for our April
Oh my
April
gosh.
Fool's Day episode, I got these super, like the same sunglasses that you see like every 40-year-old dad with gray hair wearing from this angle in their Facebook pictures. And then I got a backwards cap and a White Claw.
There you go.
And I was not Joseph that night. I was Josh, and we were very Chad. I changed all my point rewards to be Chad things. And
That's good.
yeah, I was gonna get a vape and just rip fat clouds all night, but I didn't feel like buying a vape for that.
Oh, you could have got a cheap one.
Yeah, I thought about it, but instead I just got a Monster and some White Claw.
That's equally as good.
Yeah, and the White Claw's awful. I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there right now. White Claw is terrible.
Yes,
that is not a good flavor. I did not enjoy it. I had to chase it with Monster, which I feel like only adds to the Chad. Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, how did your heart not go out of your chest doing that?
You got to be in the Chad zone.
Yeah,
The chone.
just the right amount of Chad.
Chone. I hate
That's
that
awesome.
word.
I even changed my loading screen. I put sunglasses on Booster and put some shaking Monster cans on both sides of him.
And my favorite part was you had your green screen playing a setup that was totally like not. It was what are those pictures called?
It was
photo.
a stock photo.
It was a stock
of
photo.
Someone else's stream setup.
Yeah, and the funny part is you're streaming and
my
on your
God.
computer, but then you can see your computer in the
Yeah.
background. Like
Yeah.
not even
Taking from like an angle to show the whole setup.
Oh my gosh.
I tried to find one that was just someone's background, and I saw that, and I'm like, no, that's even better.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I actually keep meaning to go download that VOD before it disappears.
Yeah,
I
definitely,
feel like I've
dude.
missed so much in the last 3 weeks. I've not been around at all. Tom, you're playing Isaac. Are we allowed to talk about that?
Well, I'm definitely gonna talk about Isaac. I'll talk about Isaac right now.
Do
I
it.
would love to. I have not got to watch anything in weeks, and it's so lay it on me, brother. I want to hear about this.
They did it. Those madmen, they did it. They've made the greatest fucking game ever. They actually fucking did it.
Really?
I love Repentance so much. It is the yeah, Isaac right now is the best Isaac there is.
Wow.
Initially, like, so there's a huge difficulty bump in Repentance, and a lot of people noticed that. And in the first days, it really was kind of jarring to play. But like with every other difficult video game, you just gotta fucking do it, and die over and over and just start over. And I heard another streamer, I think he put it really well, Northern Lion. He said that because he was also kind of like this is too difficult in the beginning, but then he came around and he turned me around essentially, and he said that we've been playing this game for years, and we're used to winning 70-80%. Really good players win like 90 to 100% of runs, and we're used to that. And now we're presented with a difficulty bump, and now we win maybe 20-30%, and we find that unacceptable. But what we should rather say that we're winning 20-30% instead of dominating the fucking video game. Like, let's cherish those wins that are 20-30% instead of bitching about not winning 70-80%. And I'm like, this dude right there, yeah. Definitely. And that's the moment when I'm like, I'm never gonna say that it's too difficult anymore.
That's awesome. I mean, yeah, too difficult would be 0, like no wins ever.
Yeah. So,
But
do you think that Isaac needs an easy mode, Tom?
No, it has an easy mode. It's called normal mode.
What
still leave
makes
a fair
the new DLC so like difficult about it? Like, is it just
So-
the new stuff, or
So the DLC is based on a unofficial mod called Anti-Birth that came out a couple years ago. They ported Anti-Birth into Repentance and then added a bunch of other stuff into Repentance. Now, The difficulty bump comes from when you enter a room. There's in the old Isaac, there used to be like a couple enemies, maybe like 4 or 5, and you kill them and they die, and that's it. Then you proceed. Not only do they increase the enemy count per room, but there's a lot of enemies that spawn additional enemies, either when you attack them or when they die. So you're fighting like just a lot more stuff, which then, it increases the amount of times you get hit. There's also a lot of enemies that they don't shoot like a single projectile. They might like shoot 50 projectiles at once in like a little curve or whatever. So they're random. They have like a cone where they're inside the cone, of course, so that they're not totally random, but still, like, some shots go over you, some shots hit you, and you never know what it's gonna be. But you can dodge them if you're, know what you're doing.
Damn, I'm out of luck.
That's pretty legit.
What I find, why I think this DLC is just so fucking good, is that they've, especially for us old players, there's a fuckload of things to do. We have I'm gonna say 2 new characters. That is a lie, but I'm gonna say 2 new characters. And they are the one, I think they're the most unique ones the game has to offer. And one of them, called Jacob, he's very difficult to use and brings a lot of difficulty to the game. They've also introduced, like, because the DLC is based on the anti-birth mod, they introduced the anti-birth route, which is just another route that you can take to win the game. And through that, they've introduced new bosses, new enemies, new areas. It's fun to explore them. For the first like day, there was a lot of secrets, and then there weren't anymore. And I did look up some of them because I could not contain myself. And like, especially like how to unlock certain things that I'm still unlocking. I would have eventually figured it out how to do it through sheer like luck, but since I looked up what to do, it's not obvious.
So would have taken some time, is what you're saying.
See, what I think,
if at all,
because now I know what to do to achieve what I want to achieve. Eventually I would have gotten it, but I think that a bunch of times when I did get a certain item that I wanted to get, I would not understand why I'm getting it. But now I know how to force the item and how to get it, and it makes no sense. So I would have never like figured out why I'm getting this one thing. But sometimes, but most of the times I'm not getting it.
I'm looking forward to watching. So what percentage do you think you're at as far as the expansion?
The DLC started off me at like 60% of every achievement gathered, and I'm at 70% now.
Wow. Man, so it almost doubled the amount of achievements in the game.
Oh yeah. But like,
that's wild.
I'm actually kind of happy about the achievements, because the vast majority of achievements are basically just beat the game in like various ways with various characters. And I am like, thank you for not introducing bullshit achievements. There are a couple achievements that I still, that you have to do some certain things to get the achievements, that I know what they are, and I'm trying to get them as I go on, but
I've started playing it more lately since Repentance came out as well, and I'm actually super enjoying it. Of course, I don't notice all the new things because I don't have nearly as much time as Tom has dumped into it, but I'm still really enjoying it. And I mean, I kind of like difficult games, so I don't mind dying 30 or 40 times before I get the W. And I don't mind it. I mean, this morning I ran right into a pile of red poop and died on a perfectly good run. So that was frustrating. But it is what it is. But I don't mind that. Like the other day, I literally was at like minus, I think my streak was at minus 35 or something. And then I finally got the W. I was like, all right, let's do it again. And I just went back in there. And I'm okay with that. And so I don't think it's, at least to my recollection, it doesn't seem any harder, but I might just be bad at the game.
It's you don't notice it because you haven't seen the hard things.
Yeah, well, and that's what I'm saying. I may not even, and I'm sure that there's probably stuff that's been added in even on the back, the older stuff to make it a little bit harder. But
yeah,
I have noticed a few new enemies here and there, but you really don't see that many new ones.
Most of the new enemies don't really appear on the old routes. They appear a lot on the new alternative routes.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff like I mistakenly said, because when the game came out, I beat one of the new final bosses the first stream. And I said I beat the final boss, the real final boss of the game. And then it's like, no, you didn't. There's an entirely separate final boss to beat. Well, I've beaten that boss also now a couple of times. And yeah, in the end, there's an ending cutscene that I spent way too much time talking about the ending cutscene on my own stream. We all watched the ending cutscene and speculated. I feel like Isaac's story is kind of nonsense, so I'm gonna spoil this.
I also feel like it's kind of nonsense. Like after we talked about it some on it didn't make any sense, and none of it makes any sense to me. I don't get it. But go on.
Because like essentially, so the premise of Isaac is that Isaac and his mother lives on a small hill. Then Isaac's mother watches Christian TV and starts to go crazy, and then essentially God talks to the mother and demands a sacrifice, her son Isaac. And that's when Isaac jumps, into the basement, and then the game starts. Now, there's a lot of other things there, like, is Isaac dead, or when does he actually die? Like, Isaac dies in the story. That's, like, I don't think there's
kinda.
Well, okay, I'll come to the kinda.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what we've thought for the entire time this game is out, and then the last one comes out. It's like, is he though?
Really? I'm gonna say for the sake of like to have the game self-contained with itself, Isaac dies. But when you beat the final boss, it's revealed that the narrator that's been the narrator since the beginning of Rebirth is Dad, and Isaac is just a kid narrating the story to the dad, and the dad narrates it to the player. So essentially, the entire story of Isaac is of course it's fiction because it's a video game, but what makes it worse is it nullifies the entire story of Isaac. Nothing in Isaac happens for real.
It is in-universe fiction. It would be like watching a movie of someone watching a movie. Like you get to experience that whole movie. Technically you watched it, but you didn't actually watch whatever. You were watching something. It's like, what? Come on, what's going on?
I'm gonna make another kind of similar reference to the movie series Twilight, because I've seen all the Twilight movies, because I'm a big proponent of, if I'm gonna hate something, I better have seen that fucking thing. So I watched all the Twilight movies. In the final Twilight movie, there's a big final battle between the protagonists and the antagonists. The entire fight sequence is shown in the movie, and then when like everybody's dead, essentially, then it snaps back into one of the main characters, like the camera pans out of his eye. He envisioned the future, and then they just decide not to fight.
But that at least could have happened.
Yeah.
It could have happened.
What?
So you're like
Yeah.
emotionally invested into this battle, and like everyone dies, and then it's like, whoops, no, it was just an illusion. Now no one's gonna die,
Oh my god!
and no one
It's like-
literally dies. And I
Oh
feel
my
like they did the
God.
same with Isaac.
That's
because,
really how the movie ends.
I mean, there's like an epilogue, which in my mind
I've
goes
never
like
seen.
it goes real creepy because okay, so like the very like final
Oh, yeah.
scenes, the main chick and the main vampire dude, they have a kid, and then there's the werewolf dude who's somehow like a third wheel. He imprints on the newborn child, meaning that he's gonna marry that child sometime in the future. Now, I felt that was incredibly fucking creepy.
That is weird.
Cause
Yeah,
yeah,
I think in the movies they downplay it, but I watched a series review of it from a YouTuber called Amanda the Jedi, and apparently in the books it is much more clear that whenever a werewolf imprints upon somebody, like that is their mate. Like in the movie, I think they try to make it like a protector, like I'm gonna defend your kid,
Mhm.
but in the book it's like I'm gonna do
Fuck
things with
that.
that kid.
Yeah, fuck that.
Didn't werewolf man and girl that had child that were like they were like a thing, sort of though, right? I
Yeah,
don't
but
remember.
she's too young for him now. She's gonna be 17 forever. He wants younger baby for older woman. Duh.
Yes.
I don't know what that reasoning is. I just made that part up, but I don't know why. That it's just like
He
he's
was
in love
like,
with the
I
baby.
can't get you, but I can get your daughter.
Right. If I groom your kid long enough,
That's yes.
See, that's
Because the daughter
creepy
grows
part.
up. Is that
Yeah.
really what this movie is about?
yeah,
That is some
yeah, dude,
fucked up shit.
dude. Let
Are
me
you
tell you that
serious?
after watching, if you ever are bored and you enjoy movie reviews at all, go look up Amanda the Jedi's channel. She's super informative and like does a lot of comparisons between the book and the movie. And she's also she is a Twilight fan, but she also bashes on it the whole time. She knows how dumb and how I'll just say it, rapey.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like that the movies definitely are. So
Oh,
if you have the time, go watch Amanda the Jedi's like like retrospective. And
No.
that's what she said. She's not done too much with them in like 8 years or something. Shows she read through them all and watched through them all fresh, and she was like, "Holy cow!"
Because not
Like,
to
you-
mention that the
Wow.
entire relationship between the chick and the vampire dude, it's pedophilia. Because the chick is
Yeah.
underage and the vampire's like what 100-something years old. I don't care how they frame it. I don't care how they frame that he got turned into a vampire when he was 17. It's pedophilia. And we're supposed to like accept this shit. And then at the very fucking end of the series, this teenage sort of adult werewolf boy imprints on a newborn baby, and it's like, I'm gonna fuck that thing. And everyone's in the movie says, oh shit, he imprinted. Gotta get it. Look, let it happen.
Yeah, it's very creepy, dude. Like I said, if
The whole
you
thing sounds insane to me.
Yeah.
I still gotta watch apparently like 7 Fast and Furious movies because they're on 9, and I didn't even know that they were on 9. I thought Paul Walker died at like 4 and that was it. But no, there's 9. There's 9 of them.
I
now.
apologize, everyone,
Or
for the
there's gonna be
blurry
9.
cams. It is Discord and not
You're
me.
right.
Okay, cool.
You're
I thought I
good.
was freaking out.
Yeah,
Nah, you're all right.
just watch Hobbs and Shaw. I get apparently that's a spin-off of
Yeah.
of those movies.
Ooh,
I didn't know that
Discord's
whenever I watched it, but it is still a very good movie. And it has it's The Rock and Jason Statham.
Yeah, Hobbs
Okay,
and Shaw
so-
is the spin-off movie.
We were talking about that earlier. Tom was saying how like he just he likes the Fast and Furious movies for what they are, which is just action and excitement and explosion. You know, just a good. It's a good like to say, oh, that movie's bad. It's like movies don't have to have awesome plots to be good movies. Is it just me or is everybody's Discord freaking out?
Yeah, mine
I
is.
show you and Tom. Actually, Trevor's fine for me.
Yeah, don't worry about
Trevor
it.
looks
It's
fine
Discord.
for me.
It's not
Yeah,
a big
okay.
deal.
Okay. Cool. I just want to make sure.
I know I
at
look
least you guys-
fine. Thank you.
But I was like, man, that's how I feel about. I mean, I totally get that. That's how I feel about every Jason Statham movie. I didn't even know he was in the freaking Fast and Furious, and now you're telling me he's in a spin-off of the Fast and Furious movies. Wait, was The Rock in Fast and Furious?
Yeah.
Yeah,
When was The Rock?
but I don't know. I haven't seen all of them. I've only
I'm
seen
confused.
one. I've seen 1, 2, and Hobbs and Shaw, and
Hey,
I
man.
think that's all you need to know to understand the whole story.
Hey man, they don't
I
have
get
plot.
it. I mean,
they try to
So
have
was-
a plot in
was-
the first movie, but they quickly give up.
Yeah, they were
Was
stealing
Tokyo
DVD
Drift-
players in the first one.
right? Yeah.
And then
yeah.
in
I
the
mean, that's
sixth movie, they
pretty-
are literally they are stealing a vault from a Brazilian bank.
That's my point, District. That's exactly.
Come to Brazil.
Oh man.
Statham's
Um,
it's all the same. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's exactly my point. Is like, Crank 1, I actually like. I think it's a good movie. But Crank 2, they're just like, fuck it, let's make him be Godzilla or make him fight Godzilla in the middle of a power plant. It comes,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you guys seen
Crank 2
Have
is
you seen-
weird as shit.
Oh
He
my
fights
god,
God,
it is so
like, what is going?
They
hang on.
have a sequence where they turn into
Yeah.
giants for some reason, and they
Yeah.
fight in a
Yeah.
power plant for some reason.
and the other guy turns into Godzilla.
For some
Now
reason.
wasn't the
In the
first one
middle of
just
the movie.
speed, but with your heart rate?
Yeah.
Yeah. The second movie is the exact same plot. Exact same plot.
The first one I think
don't-
he needs adrenaline, and the second one he
Yeah.
needs like electric shocks to like.
I
power
think
his
it's still
heart.
just adrenaline.
Is
But
it?
I thought maybe
It might be.
or maybe he might need it to restart. I actually don't remember because that's
Nobody
Statham
gives a
movie.
shit because the
I
movies
mean,
are not about that.
No,
So
they're
he
not at all. Joe, have you
physically-
seen the?
No, I
Have you
haven't.
seen
I've
the
not
first
seen
one?
any of them. No. I
Okay,
I
so
highly
go
recommend
watch Crank 1. It is a really good movie. When he's plowing Amy Smart in front of all that school bus with the Japanese girls, I just lose it. Like it's a great movie. Then go watch Crank 2, and you're gonna be like, they remade the movie and then just made it way more ridiculous. Like you think Fast and like you see when I watch this is the best way I can describe it. When I watched the Fast and Furious 9 trailer today, I was like, this doesn't surprise me, but it's absolutely batshit. Like I can see how they finally have gotten this far. That's like Crank 1 to Crank 2 is like going from Fast and Furious 1 to probably like 7 or 8, maybe even 9. Like it gets that ridiculous
Oh my god.
in one movie. It's great.
That's-
I
how-
love it.
I need to know how he physically grows to a
They
the size
don't
of-
explain it. It is just happens in the movie.
Yeah,
power of
they are
friendship.
it is not explained in any way. I don't think like in the context
No.
of the movie it doesn't actually happen, but it's just for the
Oh.
visuals. But it's
Oh, okay.
bonkers.
That's still
Like
stupid.
literally, he's just fighting a guy, and out of nowhere, he becomes a giant. The other guy turns into Godzilla, and they're fighting in a power plant, like with little transformers all around, and they're
Mhm.
like knocking to each other into them and blowing up. And then the fight ends, and the movie just continues. Like it's almost like like you're watching a dream sequence, but it just happens. It's so ridiculous. It's like one of those things where the director's like, hey, wouldn't it be really funny if we filmed him in a Godzilla suit and you giant fighting in a power plant? Let's just film it for fun. And then somebody forgot to take it out of the movie. Like that's how it feels. And they just are like, oh shit, we were supposed to take that out? Oh shit.
Oh,
it's in
fuck
the
it.
movie now.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck
like,
it, yeah.
Like, why not? Your movie gets, funded. You're a director. You get $100 million handed to you. You're like, make something. I'm like, oh, I am making something. All right. It's going to be,
Yeah.
200.
Oh yeah, they had
Yeah, guys, we
I
have
don't
$1
know what
million
that-
extra dollars. What do we do with
Yes.
it?
yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's how it feels. Yeah, it's confusing because on Discord you're on that side, but on the podcast you're on that side. But yeah, that's exactly how it felt. Like they just had all this extra money laying around, and they are gonna make a Crank 3. Are you no?
I think
okay,
the
never
Crank
mind.
3 it's been like in production for many years at this point.
Well, they said it was going to be in 3D, but this is from 6 years ago. So I
Oh,
would
yeah,
love
3D's
a
already
Crank,
over.
a
3D was
Crank
never good,
movie
though.
in
No, it wasn't.
Mars. What was the movie with Matt Damon where he's stuck on Mars?
Oh,
The
Martian?
if you ever see The Martian, if you ever see any 3D movie ever, if you get a chance for some reason to see it in a theater, I've watched a lot of 3D movies that it was filmed in 3D, like actually using 3D cameras. It's not upscaled. It is easily one of the best movies I've seen in 3D, and one of the very, very few movies I've ever seen where I go, that movie's better in 3D. Maybe the only movie I've seen in a theater where I went, that movie is it's a good movie, but watching it in 3D was and I don't like 3D movies because I wear glasses. I'm nearsighted, and so a lot of times I'm like, I gotta take them off, and it's a pain in the ass. But like that movie was worth it to watch it. But other than that, that's the only movie I can think of where it was like, yeah, go watch it in 3D.
Martian is a good movie. And
It's
I
so
don't
good.
really like Matt Damon as an actor, first place, but Martian is really really good.
Oh, I love Matt Damon though.
Because
Especially
I
in,
can I could never see Matt Damon in any other way than how he was portrayed in Team America.
Matt
Matt Damon.
man.
What?
We
What about
That's so dated. Holy shit.
I've
not
probably
the
said
English
Matt
patient?
Damon's name more than any other celebrity because of that.
Oh,
movie.
easy. Easy.
There was way too many nights where someone would yell something and they'd only hear Matt Damon.
Yeah.
I think like
What
a
was,
movie like Team America would probably not even work anymore.
Oh no, it wouldn't exist.
I don't,
There's no
you
way.
know, yeah, that's a good question. That's actually something to be really interesting to explore. Like I haven't watched it in so long. Trevor, have you ever seen?
No, so it came
Team
out
America
in when did this come out?
Like early
Probably you.
2000s.
Yeah, no, that would-
99, 2000?
It was like 02, I think. 01 or 02, maybe.
2004.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
I thought I was still in high school. Okay. Yeah. 2004.
I just got.
Wow.
I guess I was still in preschool. So
I guess that makes sense. I was.
Yeah, it's definitely not for
5-year-old
I was out of high
preschoolers.
school.
Yeah.
5-year-old Trevor walking around. Matt Damon.
Is that the same year? Same year the Wii came out, right?
Yeah. Well,
2004 was a good year. You got the Wii and you
Because
got,
like here's like also
America.
what from Team America that I don't know, like if someone watches it for the first time like now, would they even get the references? Would they even like, because Team America was very timely when it came out, you know,
Yes.
this entire like US World Police kind of deal. And with
Yes.
characters like, you know, North Korean dictator Kim Jong-il, I had to like look up that I say his right name. Like if you watch the movie for the first time and you don't know the history of like the early 2000s, does it make any sense? You know,
well, North Korea hasn't changed.
oh,
so
I
I feel
know
like
that,
that-
but you know, like, and I hate to do this, but no, Trev, do you know who Kim Jong Il is? Do you know how he looks?
I don't know how he looks, but I know who he is.
Yeah, okay, so
It's more a name I read in a history book rather than
because
something
how
I
he
experienced.
looks is very iconic in my mind.
Yeah, especially in that movie.
Yeah. I get what you're
just
saying.
keep thinking of stuff in that movie, and I keep laughing. I can't,
But-
dude. I love that movie.
I know. But does Kim Jong Un look that different? Do you know what Kim Jong Un looks like, right?
Yeah, of course.
Do you
He's not
really-
as bad.
Oh, I've seen this guy.
I mean,
Kim Jong Il
Kim
wasn't as
Jong-un and
fat.
Kim Jong Il. Kim Jong Il wasn't as fat. That's the only difference, though. They look. I mean,
hey
they have
man,
the
just
same,
because
like,
they're
the
Asian
outline.
doesn't mean that they look the same.
Yeah, but when you're father and son.
Yeah, I mean they are father and
and they
son,
do.
but like,
And they do like.
but because
I gotta look
Kim Jong Il's like iconic look in my mind is those glasses that he had and that
Glasses,
beige
glasses.
like
Yeah.
suit that he had that Kim Jong Un
Well,
does
Kim
not
Jong-
have. He does not have glasses.
Kim
He has
Jong-un,
a black like
He doesn't
suit.
have the glasses. He wears this. I thought he wore the same suit.
It's a
Doesn't
black
he
suit
wear it
here.
in that?
Black.
Oh yeah, he does look black.
Yeah.
Oh, he wears a black suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I get you. Okay,
But yeah,
I
like
mean,
if you
the
put their
suit looks
faces next to
exactly
each
the
other,
same.
yeah, sure they look like each other, but you know,
I get what you're
my
saying.
point is
He
rather
was skinnier.
that too.
Wait, what about South Park? Have you not even seen old South Park episodes that he's on? Like they make fun of him all the time in early South Parks. Actually, even in later South Parks. I bet if you Google him, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I've seen that guy on South Park."
Yeah, no,
before."
I've seen the guy before. I again, I
But
don't watch.
to
For reference,
Tomo's point, I get it. I get what you're saying.
Team
100%.
America was made by the guys who made South Park. If you didn't,
Yes.
that's why.
Okay. So I that's what popped in my
Trey
head when
Parker
y'all
and
were talking about timely, like pop culture references, because South Park does a bunch of that.
Yeah, and that's
when-
like the point that I'm
yeah.
trying to make, that even going back and watching
Yeah.
old South Park episodes, more so South Park episodes, I think, would those make any sense for someone who watches like a decade old South Park episode?
Probably
I guess
not.
it depends on your age, right?
Well, yeah, but like let's say a
With Trevor, yeah.
15-year-old watches like a decade old South Park episode for the first time, it would not make any sense. Like, sure, you can understand the jokes, but a lot of the jokes in South Park are based on what is currently happening in the world, and that's why it's funny.
Yeah.
But when you have something very specific from like a decade ago, it's not funny anymore. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I mean, there's
Well, it's
there's
not funny
some
to somebody new. I get what you're
There's-
saying.
there's some way old like the very very early episodes that has references that I don't get to, like, political figures or celebrities that weren't really for me. There's still a lot of names that I like. I started, I didn't start, but occasionally I'll go back and watch a few episodes on Hulu, and in those early seasons there's definitely some celebrities where I'm like, who? And then I gotta Google them, and it's like, oh, I just don't care.
Mhm.
Because like I
Well,
watched
if you don't know who they are, that's a good point.
I watched like Miskiff's stream when he did his big like reverse subathon thing, and when he was sleeping, he ran like South Park episodes. And there's an old episode where the boys, they build up a ladder to heaven because Kenny died. And there's a country singer in that episode that I had never heard of. Now apparently they made fun of this country singer because he profited off the 9/11 terrorist attacks, because he made a song that got super popular.
Toby Keith or Alan Jackson.
I think it's Alan Jackson.
When the world quit spinning.
Yeah,
Jackson.
where were you when the world stopped? Or
Where were you
whatever.
when the world stopped
Yeah.
turning? Yeah.
So they made fun of him like over and over and over, like, because anytime any like development happened with the boys and the ladder, he came in and sang the tune but just changed the words. And he got like mad when someone like cut him, like, we're gonna make money here. And that made no sense to me until I like looked up who he is.
Yeah. So Trevor, do you know who Alan Jackson is, right?
I've heard the name. I don't listen to country.
What?
music, so.
So I was gonna argue that is more of a continental thing than it is an age thing. But
I've
maybe
definitely heard of him. I don't think anybody listens to Alan Jackson.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. I gotta tell you a joke about that song, Tom. Or not a joke, but a story. Sorry. Real quick. My grandmother made me burn a CD with that song on it because she loves Alan Jackson and she loved that song so much. Yeah, and that was well, you gotta think. So I get what you're saying. First of all, did you ever watch 30 Rock? Have any of you guys ever watched 30 Rock? Do you know anything about 30 Rock at all? Like the show, all right,
Loosely,
so
yeah.
to put it as quickly as I can. So 30 Rockefeller is where NBC's headquarters are. It's where all the NBC shows get filmed. In New York City, it's where all the shows get filmed. And Tina Fey, who's very big on SNL, she made a show called 30 Rock with Alec Baldwin. And the show is about her and her team of writers making a show that is a lot like SNL. So it's not exactly that, because but that's the closest way I can describe it. They have a variety TV show that's live called TGS, and Tracy Jordan's on it, and But anyways, they have an episode where one of the recording um benefit shows for events that might happen in America. So what happens is this big tragedy that happens. I don't remember which one it was, a tsunami or something. And they have to go live. They're like, we got to put on this benefit. And so Alec Baldwin, who's this NBC executive, he has this idea. He's like, what if instead of waiting for a tragedy, we just pre-record all the events that might happen, and then as soon as the tragedy happens, we can immediately play it. So we're the first person to have a benefit show for these tragedies, which obviously is all about making money. And then the whole point of it is, to poke fun at exactly that. And so when you mentioned that, it was the first thing I thought of. But I get it. On one hand, you'd be like, well, he's profiting off of 9/11. On the other hand, isn't any song about tragedy like profiting off of tragedy? Any movie, any documentary,
So I
any
think it's a
TV
little bit different when
show?
you create a song immediately after the tragedy.
I mean, I don't know how immediate it was, but there were.
Wasn't it pretty
I mean,
like immediately though?
Hour one.
I understand that, I'm not gonna gatekeep like people from not making
Country
songs.
music.
Well, that too. I mean, and making like songs about tragedies, but I don't know. I think it's a pretty yikes thing when it's something fresh and you jump on it immediately and like we're gonna make some money.
What about all these freaking celebrities during COVID? Like
Oh, I
they
hate that
didn't a
too.
bunch of them. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I absolutely hate it too, and I now some of it I was glad because I got to see some reunions that I thought were funny. But to call that a benefit, I thought was a little ridiculous. I think it was more they were just bored. But I mean, I guess I can see what you're saying. Let's see here.
Because like if you're gonna make
When
a
did that?
song like that is a tribute basically to the 9/11 victims, at least like donate the fucking proceeds to some charity after that
Yeah, that's what a lot of people do
instead of pocketing everything.
Yeah. I mean,
Or at least give something to charity. I don't fucking know.
ooh, let's see here.
I could sing you some Alan Jackson after the podcast if you want, Tom.
Please no.
I know.
Wow.
I know a few songs.
Please
Why
no.
not do it on the podcast?
I know we're like way off the topic of video games, and
Have
I'm
we been
sorry
on
for-
topic though?
We're talking about
We have
Alan
talked
Jackson,
about
Nate.
Isaac, and
Oh, there
we've
you go.
talked about Wii Sports, and now we've talked about Mark Rover and the Barber.
And now we're
Okay,
talking about Alan Jackson. Stay on topic.
I might have to agree with you. So that song came out in less than a month.
Holy cow.
That's
That
what I
song
mean.
was-
Like he jumped on it. He made a song specifically to profit off of a massive tragedy.
Okay,
And don't tell me that he did it because of the goodness of his heart or whatever, or I just have to like pour my heart and soul onto this. I was trying to be creative. Fuck you, dude. The song sucks, by the way. It's one of the most simplest songs I've ever heard in my fucking life. A fucking
have you heard
squirrel
any
can
Alan-
write it and fucking profit
Have you heard
off of it.
any other Alan Jackson song?
They're
That's Alan
all
Jackson song.
they're all they are made for boomers to sing while they drive down the road.
That
100.
is 100% right.
Like my grandpa knows every Alan Jackson song. That means I know every Alan Jackson song. That's his music is meant for you to tap your toe and sing along.
He has a song called Tall Trees. Tall. That's the name of the song.
I
I
cannot
got the
figure out
tall
what it's
trees
about.
and the birds and the bees. I'm a fool for you. That's how the chorus goes. All the
I didn't know that
tall
was the name of
trees
that
and the
song.
birds and the bees. I'm a fool for you. There's like 5 words in that sentence.
Yeah.
So okay. So to put a little perspective, he did it in November. It was for the CMA Awards, and they asked him to write a song about the event that he could perform on the CMA. So I'm not trying to stick up for him or any of him. But I'll give him a little bit of leeway. Now back to
Fuck
what
all
Trev
of them.
said. He could have. What would have been a really cool thing to say is, yes, I'll do it, and I will give the money, for the next, even if it was like the next 5 years, I'll give the money to the whatever, to the 9/11 fund. Fuck, you know what? Our own goddamn government wouldn't give money to the 9/11 victims, so we really shouldn't be surprised that a country singer didn't do it. But
Alan Jackson could have been better than the U.S. government.
He could have been better than the U.S. government,
but he chose not to.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
Because I
guess
so. Because I understand what you say. Like, why shouldn't people be able to like make songs off of tragedies? I mean, I can name off the top of my head 2 bands that I actually like that have 9/11 songs. And they are clearly made like after 9/11 because of 9/11. And should they not be able to do those songs? Like, of course they should be able to do those songs. Now, when were they like done? I don't fucking know, man. But because the albums did not come out like immediately after 9/11. And like time-wise, I don't know like how much the time should pass or whatever. But
yeah, they didn't come out the next day. The next month. That is a little. I guess I get the timing and all, but yeah. Oof. I never realized it was that close.
Where were you when I don't fucking know this. I know how the melody goes, but
never you and the world stop turning on that September day. Now, if we had any viewers, they're gone because I cannot sing.
Fuck.
I had
Alan Jackson.
You're a band. You sing the song. You know it.
Oh, me, I am the guitar player, but I can assure you, our band sings 2 country songs for college students to tap their toe and sing for. No. I wish it was Freebird.
Way down yonder.
Wagon Wheel by Darius Rucker and
I should have guessed that one.
Dixieland Delight by Alabama, and it is same chord progression for both, and they're 4 chords.
Well, you guys are in Alabama, right? You're in Alabama.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and that's
we gotta play that one.
And not to sound too crazy, but Alabama is growing up was like my favorite band ever, and I had all of their albums. And so yeah, Dixieland Delight.
It's a fun one to play. Because half of it's crowd interaction, and the other half is
grab my dollar,
playing it.
Holler, mountain blue light.
Oh yeah,
they're on time
for that song.
Big little dove on a Mason Dixon.
I have lost complete control of this episode, by the way.
I'm so sorry, Tom.
I don't care anymore.
But he's kicking me out. This is my last episode ever.
In Alabama, UA, the college has come up with a chant that you scream during the breaks. The make a little love and little turtle.
Little turtle.
It's a little stupid, but it's all for college kids. So isn't everything stupid? I would agree with it.
Agreed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you should definitely learn some Alan Jackson though.
Especially
I'll play next podcast. Instead of playing the music at the start, Tom will just put me on. And
if you can tell me where it gets hotter than a hoochie coochie, I will be ecstatic.
Wait, I could,
Yeah, we all know. I want Trev to know. Trev, I want you to find out where it gets hotter than a hoochie coochie. Well, you need to find out. And by the net, or just literally Google those words.
Yeah, where does it get hotter than a hoochie coochie?
I guarantee you, it's gonna say, WDY.
Does it not say the place?
What is this picture? Oh, I was on Google Images.
Hoochie coochie.
Tom's never.
I wouldn't go to
back on this Tomcast again. I'm sorry. I've
okay.
I've lost. It's been way too long since I've got to interact with real people that I forgot how it works.
Oh my gosh. This is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
What next? I guess we could talk about. See, I can't segue to anything anymore.
What else have we been playing?
What What other news? What you know what? I'm gonna be honest. I have not kept up with anything outside of my work for the last 3 weeks. So if you guys got any news, lay it on me. I don't know what's been announced, movie, game, anything.
I am excited for, and this is, I mean, it's a little nicher, I guess, but I love Nier Automata, which was a sequel to Nier Replicant, which was only released in Japan. They came out with a version or whatever, but nobody played it. Nobody played that version. Nier Automata was a good game, got, actual recognition. They are re-releasing Nier Replicant, the original thing for the US, like remastered, redone soundtrack and everything. And that comes out next Friday, 23rd. I don't know. I can hit my calendar, figure that out real quick. Yeah, Friday.
That's awesome.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that Automata was a sequel. That's awesome.
Yeah. I didn't either. I don't think most people did. They are
each other.
Yeah, they're standalone. Like
like a Final Fantasy type thing.
Well, they're in the sort of, it's like if Final Fantasy, let's take 10, happened, and then, many, many years in the same future on the opposite side of the planet.
Oh, okay.
Something happened again. So it's like the same universe, but
like
not.
Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
But yeah, so
cool.
They're coming out with that. So I'm excited to play that because Automata is my favorite game of all time. If I had to like choose one, which is hard, but like I love that game. So
Automata
we'll see.
Also has a Steam update in the works to make the game
really
not suck ass.
I guess that's what that Xbox, because you can get it on Game Pass now. So you on PC you play the Xbox version. Tom informed me, which is better than the Steam port is apparently terrible, but that's good. It is on Game Pass though, so anyone that has Game Pads, and yes, I did play Automata for Tubi's ass, but this is a different conversation.
My chat apparently was not loading for like the last hour.
Oh dang!
Somebody mentioned something about a Switch. There's a new blue Switch.
There is new blue Switch Lite, and that is all the news.
Is it literally just a Switch Lite that's blue?
Yes, it's dark blue. You could get one that was like teal,
like the baby blue almost.
Yeah.
They will sell out.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, the fact that it's blue doesn't even matter. It's just going to sell out no matter what.
No news on a new a new Switch Pro?
No, there were a bunch of rumors. Yeah, but I doubt that might be. Yeah, that might be an E3 thing, really.
Speaking of E3, though.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
So, like everyone understands probably at this point that this year's E3 will be digital.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm only mentioning this because of one reason only. I'll read this entire thing or this little snippet. E3 2021 will return this June in digital form and has been backed by Nintendo, Xbox, Capcom, Ubisoft, Take-Two, Warner Brothers, and Koch Media. Koch owns like some development studios. There is one more studio that is backing this year's E3. I don't know why they are doing it.
Sony.
No, Sony's out. But it is one of those other companies that I really love. Konami.
Ooh.
What?
PT.
I don't know. So apparently there was like a trailer, some Konami game trailer. I saw it today in one of the Discords that I'm in. A game called Getsu Fuma Den Undying Moon. This is a reveal trailer. I have no idea what this is. I have not even watched the video. I'm gonna pull it up here and mute the thing so no one hears anything because I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Gotcha machines for sure.
Yeah.
So this is basically Mark of the Ninja, but more flashier.
Would you mind putting a link in chat?
Yeah, I'll do that. Yoink.
Love Mark of the Ninja.
This is very heavily like Japanese inspired.
Yeah, I saw this come up on my Twitter
Ooh.
feed, but it was very Japanese, so I was like,
Very
Maybe not.
Japanese. This probably swims in Japanese folklore. I'm not gonna show the trailer on stream because I get copyright striked or claimed every fucking video I show anything on stream. And
I
for
like
those
this.
for those listening on
Interesting.
YouTube and be like, why don't you show it, motherfucker? Get your ass over to Twitch, motherfucker, where we do this thing live.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/Pantsless Podcast.
Or just pantslesspodcast.com.
Or just Pantsless, but yeah, exactly.
Oh yes, go to our
That'll get you there.
second
That'll go
second and
straight
fourth
there.
Wednesday.
actually try that. I haven't tried that yet.
You should try it right now.
Pantslesspodcast.com. Actually, you know what? Yeah, you should let me know that it works. It works on my
It
computer.
works.
So
It does work. But
That's
like,
crazy.
so I'm surprised that Konami is like making anything anymore, because they clearly did not want to do that. Like, Konami has been very clear that they are not making video games anymore, and that's what makes this entire thing funny for me, that they are backing E3 this year. Because what will they show? What do they have? Why would they do this?
Well,
Metal Gear
are they
Survive DLC?
are they developing this or publishing it?
I have no idea. No idea.
they got to be just publishing it, right?
Yeah,
They can't
if I had to
be-
put money, it'd be on the latter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine they are.
I mean, gotcha machines had to have died, right? Like in the last year.
They do gotcha machines. They do what, like pachinko machines. So,
Yeah, but
like,
those are all
those.
things like, arcades are still a huge thing in Japan. No one's going to arcades.
Well, yeah, but COVID there was different than COVID here is. Like I keep up with like Smash Esports, and we haven't had a tournament here in like over a year, but they've had multiple, in-person tournaments in Japan. So I think they could probably still work that out.
Gotcha.
Though on a lesser degree, I would agree with
Oh,
that.
well, I can't play it, guys. It's a registered of Epic Games Inc. in the United States and elsewhere.
What are you talking about?
I'm
We'll
not-
be
Sure,
coming.
Konami is?
We'll be coming to Steam in early access May 13th, 2021.
Oh, wait, does Epic
Oh,
Games own the Unreal Engine?
Yeah,
I didn't
Yes.
know that.
they make that.
That's literally how they made all their money
I didn't know that.
to begin. Yeah.
I had no
They do
idea.
that
used
in
to-
Fortnite.
I
So
thought that they
we-
got all their money from the government.
Fortnite. No.
Government.
Oh, well.
yeah.
That too. So originally I actually worked on Unity projects when I was in college, and I had the Epic launcher before Fortnite was on it, because the Epic launcher started as the Unity launcher. And so you had to download it, and then that's how you got Unity. And then they so like when Fortnite first came out and you downloaded the Epic launcher, you could download Unity, the Unity engine, and the same launcher. I mean, that's all it was Fortnite and Unity. Like, that was the two things you downloaded from it. And then, of course, it grew from there, and now they've pulled Unity out. And I don't know. I haven't worked in any game development in years, but yeah, when it Epic, that launcher was for downloading Unity, and it is what it is now, which is spyware, but much more,
There is like Rosa is saying in chat, there are rumors that there's gonna be a Metal Gear remaster.
I thought
I
That
don't
was
care about that sort of
confirmed.
remaster myself, but it'll sell. Metal Gear.
Is it just a
fucking
rumor?
always.
I thought it was actually like a legit
man.
confirmation.
Everything is a rumor if there's not an official announcement. There is no official
A movie
announcement.
for Metal Gear Solid 2. I forgot about that, but that just popped in my head.
What?
The Metal Gear Solid movie. That's been hold on.
Escape from New York?
No.
You talking about that?
No,
Yeah, that's the movie.
wait, really? Is it the movie?
Yes. Yeah.
What?
Escape from New York. That's the movie that Snake Plissken is based on. That's Solid Snake is based on. It's Escape from New York.
Trevor's
Not
talking about an
that-
entirely different thing.
They are making a Metal Gear Solid adaptation like into a movie. And
Oh,
the
I thought
lead
you were talking about
actor-
the old one. My bad.
No, the lead actor is Oscar Isaac. That's the only news that I don't know.
Oh, I
that
know.
that was announced in December of last year. That I totally blanked that was a thing.
Yeah, Escape from
I
New York
prefer-
is like a movie from the 80s that
I prefer Kurt Russell.
Yeah, it's so bad.
I love.
Because
Kurt
you got to
Russell,
get the
though.
president. They turn New York into a prison, right? And then they
Yeah,
gotta, and
yeah.
the president's plane
Yeah, and he.
for whatever reason crashes
and-
there, and he has to get the president out.
yeah,
Yeah, something like
is
that.
the plot?
there's like
Oh,
a sequel that's Escape from.
Yeah, there's a second one, and it's apparently it's real bad.
what's
but
the other one
the-
called? Escape from
Nope.
LA.
Escape from L.A. Yeah.
Escape from L.A. Yeah,
It's made by John
He's too young,
Carpenter
Gordy.
though.
Yeah.
How can
I,
that-
John
Yeah.
Carpenter isn't great with sequels. Not great with sequels.
That's about that then. Anyway, E3 will be happening this year, which I'm very happy about. Even if it's just a digital show, who cares? We'll cover E3 on this show, obviously, like we would have done last year too. If there wouldn't be a certain pandemic going on, you know.
yeah.
But
Yeah. Speaking of, got my second shot yesterday. Pretty excited about that. I can finally go
Nice.
back to sampling doorknobs. So pretty excited.
You lick
What
it
does
good.
everyone's hands taste like?
Mine is scheduled for next week. My second one.
That's awesome.
I
was-
went and got a test. I got a little scared that I might have the Rona, and I got the test, and
Ooh.
I do not
Hey.
have the Rona.
Yeah.
For anyone that doesn't-
So
For anyone that doesn't know, if you, I'm not going to judge anybody's decision on anything that they related to that, because I'm not going to get into that on this. But for anyone that, whether you get a shot or not, if you don't know, you should be taking vitamin D and vitamin B12, but especially vitamin D. There are there are tons of studies. It's literally, if you get COVID and you go into the hospital, that's one of the things they will give you, and you can buy it at any store at all. It's not going to keep you from getting COVID. It's not going to prevent you from spreading COVID. All it's going to do is, if you were to get it, it can help you, and there are literally no benefits to taking the vitamin. So just want to throw that out there for anybody that's like, if you don't do anything else, the very minimum, and even afterwards, like it help you with the flu, it help you with the cold. So that's my wife's an RT. She works in a huge hospital in a very large metropolitan area, and she sets the little gummies out every night or every morning for me to take when I
For
get up.
Santa.
And it's just something, whether, no matter, even if you just want to help with flu, cold, anything, that's a big thing for these types of viruses. Vitamin D, and it makes sense. It's the sun. It's like, it's what you get from the sun, and sun's coming out now, but still.
They put
Yeah, I know
vitamin
that's-
D in milk here.
Yeah, you can get vitamin
Yeah.
D enriched milk here as well.
I'm
I
lactose
think
intolerant.
it's pretty common
so-
in places where we don't see the sun for like half a year.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't really see that many people get. It's not like I go rummaging through fridges, I guess, but I don't know that a ton of people.
I mean, you
buy
go
vitamin
rummaging
D
through
milk.
doorknobs, so I wouldn't doubt it.
That's on the outside, Trev. Don't judge my life.
Our
Uh,
state just did a thing for people 16 and up that can now get because I'm 20, so I was like they were like, no, so I can
Yeah.
finally go out and get it now too.
I think most places are getting to be
Yeah.
to that point too.
I just
I,
came to Texas. Apparently, we were giving it to
No.
8-year-olds.
Yeah, because I'm a utility worker, technically, even though I'm not a utility worker, we still had like a higher priority. I just waited. It's like I don't ever go anywhere. There's some old person that probably needs that
Mm.
stuff in their arm. So, but I
feel ya.
waited plenty of time. I waited like 2.5 months from whenever they started giving them out to get mine. So,
My wife got
my
it in
recovery,
January.
yeah,
She's
my recovery was actually super easy. So I just slept all day yesterday. That's about it.
that's the same. That's what happened to me too. I just slept.
Yeah. Well, even on my second shot, I just slept.
Oh yeah, your second one's. Did you have Moderna or Johnson and Johnson? Sorry to if
I
you
had-
want to end this, we can end it.
No, I had Pfizer.
Pfizer.
I had the
Yeah,
Pfizer.
Johnson
Oh,
and
the
Johnson.
hidden
I mean,
third.
not Johnson and Johnson. Moderna or Pfizer is that's what I meant to ask. Not.
J&J
Johnson
gives you
Johnson.
blood clots. Don't take that.
Yeah,
Six people.
Allegedly.
6 people.
Well,
I mean, they're still digging. I agree. They need to stop, but 6 people out of 1.6 million is cause to look, but there's no cause to panic yet.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's
fly a
literally
lot.
people like panicking about the J&J vaccine, and there's people like pointing out that there's a higher chance for women to get blood clots for like birth control than the J&J vaccine, and like people are freaking out about. And this is like what the media does. They report on like one thing, and because you don't know anything else, you hyper focus on that one thing, even though there might be like there's a million other things that gives you blood clots way fucking easier, but no one ever thinks about them.
Yeah.
For
oh, go ahead. Well, I was gonna say that I know, like my mom is very like, I'm not gonna say anti-vax because she isn't 100% against it, but she is very skeptical. And I was talking to her, and she's like, "Did you hear? Johnson and Johnson gives you blood clots." And I'm just like, "Well, the people. It's what's wild is the people that are so concerned about 6 people getting." A blood clot out of 1.6 million weren't concerned about 3% of 320 million. That's all I have to say. Everybody pointing saying, "Look, here it is. Here's the smoking gun." You don't give a shit about 3.5% of the population. Go fuck yourself.
Well, so and that's what I tell people. To me, everyone's lives their own life, and if somebody doesn't feel safe, me personally, I feel like I mean, people are scared of shit, like, and we don't force them to do other things, and I can see both sides of it, but if somebody doesn't feel like they want to take a shot that's so new, if somebody says, "I don't want a measles vaccination," I'm like, "Oh, do you mean the shot that's been around for 50, 60 years? You don't want to take that? You think it's dangerous? You think it's killed everybody over the last 60 years?" I have no problem making fun of them. But me personally, I travel, I fly a lot. I've already flown almost 20,000 miles this year. It's April. So
It's just funny for me that people
I felt like it was my responsibility.
When people say that, I don't want to take a vaccine shot because of X, Y, and Z, and it's like, okay, but what else do you do in your life that is literally life-threatening every single day?
Yeah.
Because like
for sure,
and that's what like boggles my mind with like anti-vaxxers. Because they focus on like one thing: you get autism because you take vaccines. I mean, but like there's so many other things that we do in our daily life that can be harmful or like potentially lethal, and we never fucking think about those things.
Yeah. I met a guy whenever I was in Denver last time that his entire job is to just assess the likelihood of any given thing, of anything around your house or industrially, how likely that is to give you cancer.
Oh.
And the amount of household products, stop using antiperspirant. I'm going to tell you right now, stop using antiperspirant deodorant. The antiperspirant deodorant is the thing that is most likely to give you cancer in your house right now. Is antiperspirant deodorant. Like the stuff that actually will make you stop sweating, give you cancer. Stop doing it.
You heard it here
candles,
first.
Candles, scented candles, also like a lot of the mass produced, obviously, because they have all the chemicals and stuff. I'm sure natural candles and stuff are safer, but mass produced candles, that's number 2. And they don't care about that stuff, but like you said, Tom, it's how many other things are like, well, you're doing other things that is also likely to kill you.
Who knew that you could watch a gaming podcast and learn about life-threatening things in your household?
Yeah, I had dinner with that guy. Oh, go ahead.
My cats were fighting. No, that's I had to go break up a cat fight. They were not gonna give up.
Yeah, I had dinner with that guy, and we sat down with my buddy that I was out there visiting, his wife, and then the guy and his wife, and they told me that, and they were like, "So, is there anything you want to ask him about?" I was just like, "No." Why? You want me to just start naming shit in my house? Be like, "Hey, does this dude? What's the odds of this Gatorade getting canned?"
I would've-
They even say now, like water bottles, if you reuse them, they
Mhm.
break down chemicals over time, so you shouldn't reuse water bottles. Which to me, it's like we get water out of the fridge. We keep water bottles in our house. I keep several cases just in case. We had the power outage. Things happen. You never know. It's not ridiculous to keep a couple cases of water, but water, they always say you shouldn't save them forever. So we cycle them through, and every once in a while, after we've had a case for about a month, we'll go ahead and start drinking it. You just recycle it. Like, it's not that hard. You just put the bottle in the recycling, and it's to me, it's like, who's hanging on to a bottle of water for 6 years before they drink it? Like, just drink it and get new bottles, at least yearly or whatever.
Ultimately,
Yeah,
like,
well,
I think that humans are simultaneously, we are very, very fragile and very fucking resilient. And this is kind of the mindset that I don't understand. Like, you could literally die at any moment. But then again, like, it is super fucking hard to die. So, like, pick one.
Ain't
Fucking
easy.
pick one. And like, when it comes to like the J&J vaccine, like, if 1.3 million people took this vaccine and 6 people have blood clots, and people are like calling for, like, we should stop giving this thing right now. And
Yeah.
There's in a lot of businesses, there's something, I don't know what it's called. Joe might know what it's called, but they take into account, like, fatalities or injuries.
Yeah, it's acceptable mortality rates, basically.
Yes. So as long as you're under a certain threshold, it's all good.
Yeah.
Like, who cares if, like,
sure.
20 people die? Like, it's no biggie.
Yeah,
You're
that's
telling me
been
how many people I can silence before the government catches on that I'm killing
Yeah.
people.
Isn't that what
what's
Fight
crazy-
Club was, like, the whole principle?
What's crazy is, like, they count, like, they wrangle everything into that whenever they do that. I know that companies do have that. They have, like, an acceptable number of people that can die, and they count in, like, the lawsuits and payoffs and everything like that. Yeah. And I didn't mean. I want to clarify myself a little bit earlier, because whenever you said that you're fine with people not taking it if they're suspicious, I feel like I maybe came off aggressively because I've been frustrated with my family. I don't think you're to fuck yourself if you're suspicious of it, but if you're going to cite that 6 people dying or getting a blood clot, not even dying, if you're going to cite that 6 people getting a blood clot out of 1.6 million is the reason you're not taking it, then you should go fuck.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and not 100%. So to go, you're talking about the whole job thing. I know we're long, so if you want me to shut up, just say so. But the in Fight Club, that was his job, was to go and assess if it was more financially viable to recall or to just let the accidents happen. And that's a real job. That's something that people do in real life. Is it cheaper to just pay off the people? If we're only going to kill 10 people, it's cheaper to just pay for those 10 deaths than it is to recall, which is the better one. And to make that more simplified, and most of the time in vehicles, it's never cheaper to pay for even one death, because recalls are almost beneficial, because what that means is I got a recall for I'll give you an example. I had a recall the other day on my truck. I've had 6 since I've had it. Only one was kind of serious. The last one was the middle seat belt in the front seat might not have been attached properly. And you say, well, that's a pretty big deal. I didn't even know there was a seatbelt. I didn't even know that was a seat. It's got like a thing that folds down. I was like, who would be sitting? Who sits here? Like, I wouldn't want a person here. So I was like, oh, I literally didn't know they had a seatbelt there. So to me, that was like, all right, it's not that big of a deal. But then I take it to the dealership and they're like, oh, you need your oil change and all that, So to them, a lot of people will just, I'll go get, I might need an oil change. I might be close or whatever. I'm already got to take it to them. Maybe if you throw a fit, they might, I don't know if they'll give you a discount or not. I never ask, but so the dealership, that company's making money off of a recall. Like, so it's not to say they make recalls intentional. But the whole point of that rant was to say that I don't think companies are saying we can survive 10 deaths and be okay, especially for cars, because most recalls are super easy to fix on vehicles. They can bring them in as long as they don't have to install a part or replace a part. A lot of times this didn't get installed properly. I think 5 of my 6 recalls were over seatbelts. One was like, it might throw fumes out because they didn't put this little piece in or something like that. That might be in there, might not be in there. It's I think pretty minor most of the time. But back to the vaccine, and then I'll shut up for a minute. The reason that I say I understand there have been reports of vaccines in the past where people have gotten weird diseases. And to me, it's something new. It's not to me as much as it is about the media's lied to me or all that. But if you are gonna be so freaked out and stressed out, stress can cause a shit ton of health problems too. So I don't need you running around like a time bomb thinking that you've just injected poison in your body and you're going to blow up. If that's the case, I have the vaccine. I take vitamin D. I would rather you not give COVID to my grandparents, but I want everybody to be happy. And if it's that much of a pressure on you, um, for something like that, see that as reasonable. If it's something that's proven scientifically, it's been around for 20, 30 years, then you're a nutcase. I don't really care about you. But something like this, I mean, I get it. But back to your point, if they're like, well, 0.01002% of people might get a blood clot that's treatable. Yeah, I see your point 100%
Yeah.
there too.
Yeah,
So,
that's really what
yeah.
I was trying to say. Because like,
Yeah.
it infuriated me because people forget how numbers work whenever they would say, oh, it's only 3%. It's like, dude, 3%'s a million people. So
Yeah.
you're just fine with like just Chicago stopping existing. That's if a
Well,
nuke hits Chicago, you're fine with it, is what you're telling me.
you live
Because
in
only
Harrisburg.
only 3%.
You would be okay with Harris, but
Yeah.
Chicago not existing.
Yeah, dude. Whenever I went to Germany and I told people I was from Illinois, they said Chicago. I'm like, come on, dude.
Did you bring a
It's
gun?
different country. Yeah, it's like, no, man. I live 6 hours south of that place. 6 hours.
Yeah, people don't realize.
No, but there is no other
you
city
can
in
go-
fucking Illinois, though.
Then don't
Agreed.
mention it.
Exactly. I always say Southern Illinois.
Yeah.
Where are you from? Southern Illinois. You
Southern
have
Illinois. Yeah,
Southern.
it's a different. No, not Southern. Southern. Southern Illinois.
Southern Illinois.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's
guys.
it's a whole different state. It really is. Anyway, yeah, not to get off on that rant. I will just say that every year you hear old men talking about how we're finally going to split off.
Oh, the secession.
Chicago, dude. I'm not, dude. Since I was a little kid, like 8 years old, I distinctly remember my dad talking about how Chicago's going to be a new state, and they're taking the top like third of the state, lopping that thing off, and calling it North Illinois. I think it was North Illinois is what I always heard.
We got too many North and Souths already, and I'm good.
Yeah,
Or it
I'm
could be
all for it.
Illinois and Southern. You could do the Virginia thing.
Yeah.
Virginia, West Virginia. You could have Illinois and then Southern Illinois. That's what I always imagined it would be.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I'm waiting for the day when the United States of America experiment just ends, and just end statehood completely. Make 52 new countries out of it. Let's go. Balls deep.
I am on board.
That would be wild.
100%.
I mean, it would never
100%
work.
on board.
Like over
No,
half
yeah,
of the states
Oh,
would like immediately die.
Alabama
There's
would implode
6.
because of how weird our policies would be, just right off that. Like if
You-
don't give us
you think-
don't give us full control.
You're not nearly as bad as a place like Washington, where you have like everyone lives in Portland and is the most liberal of the liberals on probably the planet. And then you get outside and everybody's like, well, give us our guns. We want to carry
Yeah.
our AR, smoke our weed. Like it's a crazy. Like I love Oregon and Washington State. Like I could never live there because I can't handle either, but it is by far the most extreme. Like you go into Portland and it's just as liberal as it could be, and you get outside of Portland and it is as backcountry conservative as it gets. And I love visiting, and it's so funny talking to people there, but that state wouldn't know what to do with it. I don't even know how it's a state, to be honest, let alone it be its own country.
Most big cities in the United States, like it doesn't matter what state they are, they're mostly like liberal.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Even here in Texas, I mean, Dallas, if you go to our Dallas on Reddit, you'd be like, I thought Dallas was a conservative state, but yeah, I live in St. Louis, they're all the same. But that's the biggest extreme I've seen.
Yeah, even in like New York, because upstate New York is basically Southern Illinois. It's nothing but like farmland and Native American stuff up there. Like there's tons of it. I didn't know that, but there's tons of Native American stuff up there, which was really cool to see. But it's in the city, it's as liberal as it gets. But you go hour and a half, 2 hours north, and it's nothing but cornfields.
Yeah.
It's the same everywhere, not just the States. I mean, it's the same here too. Like it's mostly just liberal in big Finnish cities, and when you go out of the cities, it's rednecks.
Yeah,
like our version of rednecks.
Why is
what do
that?
you call them?
Why? Yeah,
What do you call your redneck?
Landepaukku.
Does that have a translation?
Lande is like, it's like farmland, and paukku is like we mean like it as like a bang, like a pop. And I don't know, it doesn't really have a translation.
I'm gonna start calling all my rednecks farm bangs.
Is that like pop folk, like or not bang, but like pop folk? Like we have
No,
that was. I was just wondering if
you mean
it
like an
came from,
explosion pop, right?
No, because like that's what paukku means. But when we use it in landepaukku, that's what we not really mean. Like lande is not an official word. But everyone knows what London means. London just means anything but a city. Just farmland, little village, whatever.
Gotcha.
And like a suburb part of that, or is that a
no, suburbs would be like cities, essentially. We don't really have suburbs like the States has suburbs.
So would the bang or the pop like mean like to emphasize it because they're really not a state, like kind of like redneck? It's like boom. Boom corn, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like I couldn't like tell where it comes from.
Etymology.
Yeah,
because that's just what we say.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's pretty clear why it is like that. In smaller communities, it's usually very tight knit, and you're not exposed to a whole lot of things. Especially like in a place like Finland, where we didn't have immigrants when I grew up. Like the explosion of immigrants was here in the 90s. So when in the 80s, there weren't any like African immigrants here. Like there were a couple black people I remember seeing when I was like a wee little dude. And now obviously when, the entirety of Europe has just taken a lot of refugees in, our refugee population is bigger. So there's literally places in this country where they haven't seen a black person live. And they've lived in the same community their entire lives and their previous generations' lives, and so forth. But when you go into bigger cities, you're automatically exposed to a lot of different cultures and people. And you automatically become more accepting because you see that that black person is not a terrorist. And that dude from the Middle East, he doesn't want to kill me. But if you live somewhere in buttfuck nowhere and the only thing you hear about immigrants is they're gonna kill us all, of course you get a little racy at that point.
Yeah, that's 100% what it is. And I've had to actually I've talked to a couple guys at work about that. Like they weren't sure like what the difference was, and I just broke it down to them. And it is like whenever you know somebody, whenever you can personify a struggle, you understand it a little bit more. Like, truth be told, I used to be super against like welfare and handouts and stuff like that. And I met a girl. Her name is Whitney, and she has a very unfortunate situation. And just the gist of it is she lives in a small town that's in the middle of nowhere. Those type of towns don't have turnover for jobs. If you don't live in a small town, you're not real sure how it works. But once someone gets in a spot, they're in that spot probably for the rest of their life.
Yep.
So she couldn't get a different job because of her location. There wasn't any good jobs near her that was worth the expense of moving. She didn't qualify for food stamps because she made just enough, which was like $18,000 a year. And that disqualified her from food stamps, and it kept her in poverty. And that means that she couldn't afford to move because she couldn't afford to go looking for a better job to get more money. And I was friends. We haven't talked in a while. We didn't really have an argument. We just, drifted, but she's stuck in that spot and there's nothing she can do about it. If she wanted to change something, she would have to take away from her baby girls, and she can't do that. And after realizing that like people are in helpless situations, and there's people that have the opportunity to change Whitney's life for the better, and they choose not to. And that bothers me on a deep level. But that's what it is. I never knew a Whitney. I only knew the people that I see wandering around town who are strung out on drugs, who are fine with living in a 200 square foot home that only has 50 foot of livable space because the rest is covered in cat shit. Those were the only people I saw that were in poverty, and they put themselves there. Whitney didn't put herself there. She had 2 kids and a shit bum dad who left. And because I know her, now I know that there are other perfectly wonderful people in the world who need help, and there's no reason we shouldn't be helping them. But if you've only been in this town, the shit bum that you see wandering around strung out on drugs is the only exposure you have to that lifestyle. And everyone talks trash about that person. So you automatically think that person is trash. So everyone in that situation is trash. And I used Whitney as an example, but that is the example for everyone. I mean, for every lifestyle you haven't been exposed to in a lot of these smaller areas where, if you're not my friend, then you don't matter. If you're not, the tribalism. And once you start to realize that people are just trying to live their life, like it's really infuriating.
I have a question that you hit on that I wanted to ask Tom, and that is, so, and Rosalina mentioned that she lives in Florida and there's a lot of Trump supporters there, and it sucks. And in your situation, I will not argue that for a second. But what I'm curious about is I personally know people that are Trump supporters that are in that exact in the same social situation. So I have gay friends that are Trump supporters, and they have been in situations where they're like, you racist bigot, and they're like, I'm a black gay guy. How can I be? I'm not a racist or a bigot. But their reasons for supporting are very, very different than a lot of people. So I can 100% see that. And what I'm getting at is, a lot of times in the United States, people get associated they get lumped into a category based on their political party. So if somebody is Trevor, for example, and he says, I like Bernie Sanders. Well, of course you do. You're just some young, dumb college kid. You want to smoke pot and get your college paid for free. And like 100%, like if you said, I like, even if you didn't even say you were a Bernie supporter, let's say you said, I like Bernie's plan on this. That's immediately where you get lumped in the United States. And I'm not even generalizing with a group of people. Like that is, if you say I support Second Amendment, like if I say which I personally support Second Amendment, there are a lot of levels to it though.
What's your question, dude?
But if
Get to the question. Come on, please.
Okay, I'm sorry. My question is, do you guys have that there? Do you have the if you make any political statement about any single one thing, that people immediately get lumped into a category? Because you guys have a lot more parties than we have in the United States. So I'm always curious how that works over there.
You answered your own question there. No, it's not like that here because we have multiple parties.
So can you support multiple parties simultaneously? I guess is really the question I might also be getting at.
Of course. I mean, common sense says that. No one person supports every single thing a party says. You guys are fucking brainwashed over there to actually believe that is the reality. I have never in my life have I voted for a party. I have always voted for a person. Awesome. And I have like the total amount of parties I've voted for when I can vote is probably around 5 or 6 at this point. I don't identify with any single party. I know what my political leanings are.
That's awesome.
But no party is 100% like what I would support. They all have shitty things, and they all have some great things.
I think down here in the U.S., it is partially people are lazy and don't want to educate them. Like in Alabama, a lot of people I know personally, of course, hardcore Republican. But when you ask them, like, why? It's like, oh, because my parents were. It's not because, and so therefore I agree with everything on that side. So I feel like definitely if people look into it, nobody's gonna agree on fully 100%, left or right or whatever.
For sure.
But it's all dependent on if you educate yourself in that field, because a lot of people, on our ballots there's marks where you could be like, I vote for every Republican person. You bubble that one bubble in, or Democratic, and you turn in. You don't even have to. It's easy. It's lazy, so like it promotes
insane.
And I feel like that's why.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. So like, of course, we have people here that they vote for one party. Like, like that sort of mentality exists everywhere. But, well, yeah. But overall,
I didn't mean
it does not happen. Like if I say that. I support like free education for everyone, there's no party that I could be lumped into. Every party here supports that.
That's awesome. Yeah, because like if I say people look at me, I'm obviously a white male, and if I say I support people's right to carry because it's in our Constitution, or not carry, to own guns, I'm immediately, you're a Trump bigot, race. I'm like, maybe I'm not that, all those other things. Maybe I'm this one thing, and maybe I'm also these other things. And it is definitely, I hope we are reaching a tipping point in the United States where people can put individuals in, or not put individuals into a group. It's so crazy because as a growing up, it was like this fight for individual freedom and individualism and speaking your own mind.
His
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I hit the stupid mic button on the side.
Oh, okay.
I said, and say whatever you want, and you don't be judged. But it's gone so far the other way, where it's like the exact opposite. If you, whatever you say will be held against you, no matter what. And there are a lot of people I feel I feel rough for that they just it's rough for people that are not
I have the
in
full.
the in the
I have
form.
the full manifesto to saving the United States political system, which I'm not gonna go into right here. If you do follow my Twitch channel, we can talk about it on my streams. Though.
Awesome.
All that to say, you can pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but you cannot pick your friend's nose.
Hey,
Sure can't.
That's a no-no.
Unless
We should
it's
just
you
all
know
consent.
if the friend consents.
There you go.
You know you can do your
You know what?
you can do your kinky shit. I don't judge.
You can't pick your friends. You can't pick your friends. You can pick your circle, but you should be friends with every goddamn person you meet.
Can
Be
I pick my
friends.
circle's nose?
Dude, it's like a circle nose pick. You just get this one and your buddy gets yours.
Oh, wait.
Damn,
It's
exactly.
am I
It's the censored human centipede where everyone just has a finger up the other person's nose.
Yeah, that's the human centipede for
I
preschoolers.
just it just annoys the crap out of me. There's no reason we can't all be friends. It doesn't matter what the other person thinks, feels, believes. We can all be friends. I mean, look. I'm
We
Me and-
can
me and-
all be
me-
friends.
me and Joe are from. It's so confusing because you're on this side. Me and Joe are from very similar places, but we still grew up very different. Harrisburg and Heron, he knows there's some differences. And those are like 15 miles away. So it annoys me. I hate for anybody to struggle. And that goes back to the vaccine thing. I don't want anybody to struggle for their beliefs. If your belief doesn't hurt anybody else, if you've got some reason that I think a lot of people can agree with, I don't give a fuck if you think the earth is flat. Honestly, people say, oh, it's dangerous letting people think that.
Some beliefs
I mean, it's
should not be
not.
beliefs, though.
They shouldn't be. But here's my thing. People don't really believe the earth is flat. People want attention.
I'm not talking about flat earth, but
And-
when you say people can believe in whatever, even if it doesn't hurt people, I wholeheartedly reject that. Because there's people who definitely believe that they should be able to fuck kids, even if they don't fuck kids.
No.
They
That
should not
hurts
fucking
somebody.
think that.
No. That hurts somebody.
But if they never do it, then they never hurt anybody. See,
That's a little deeper than what I was going.
Yeah,
I guess I
mean,
meant yeah, no. I can 100% see where you're going with that, where the people shouldn't even think that.
definitely not.
Yeah,
Seek help
for
if you
sure.
do think those things.
What if somebody, I don't want to get too weird with this, but I got to use a different example. What if they think something that they don't act on, but they also know it's wrong?
We're getting way too deep here. We're gonna stop.
We
here.
need Neil deGrasse
Yeah, that's
Tyson.
philosophical.
Yeah.
We need Bill Nye the Science Guy, LeVar Burton, Neil
I'm
deGrasse
sorry.
Tyson.
We're gonna
And
stop here.
Who was the other one we
the
mentioned?
guy that plays Ronald McDonald from the commercials.
I am
Interesting.
calling it.
Mark
Sorry.
Harper.
Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone.
Been fun. Thank you guys. I'm sorry if I've rambled.
We all ramble.
Once upon a time, we kind of chose to have parameters for the podcast, what to talk about and what not to talk about. We've crossed those parameters like multiple times over the course of like 2 years. I don't think there are no parameters anymore.
Yeah, we just talk. Sometimes it's about video games.
Because I never wanted this podcast to be like the same kind of stuff that I do on my own channel, where I definitely split the community every fucking stream if I really wanted to. But
Well, hey, nothing else. I have needed some interaction for quite some time. So thank you so much for letting me once again come on. I really appreciate it. To all of you guys and everybody watching.
Chunky Boy River.
Oh,
That chunky boy. He almost doesn't fit in frame.
love the love.
gotta get
There you go.
gotta back up for my cat. There we go.
We'll be back in 2 weeks. North should be back. I asked him and he said he should be back. But I don't control North's life, so I don't know. If North comes back, then Achilles Star will be substituted out. North works. Like, he switched his work schedule. He works like normal people hours now. So like 8 hours, 5 times a week, or 4 times a week, or 5. I don't even know. But essentially, because he works shorter days, he works more days instead of longer hours and less days, which means that he can't really be on the podcast too many times. But there's also like a huge risk that he'll be laid off in the next couple of weeks. That happens, he might be more here. I obviously don't hope that he gets laid off. That would be devastating, especially for a student at this juncture of the year where it's impossible to get a summer job because they've all gone.
Yeah, that'd be rough.
Yep.
Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yep, hopefully that won't happen.
Guess he'll just have to start streaming for money.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I hope he comes back. I just want to say thank you guys so much for having me on. Since this might be my last time for a while, so I just wanted to say that before you sign us off. So
Love you, Nate.
thank you so much, Tom.
Mhm.
I love
no
you
problem.
guys. Really, thank you. I've super enjoyed it and super enjoyed meeting your community. So thanks.
there's the YouTube link to the new podcast channel on YouTube. Click it and subscribe because the old channel is dead. There's no other way to say there will not be any more content on the old channel.
Sub to this one, this new one.
Yes.
The link in the bio is already updated. The link on the bot is already updated. So sub to this one.
Yes, Gorby, unsub from the old YouTube channel. They are subscriptions on YouTube, but they're obviously follows on Twitch. I know what I'm saying. But yeah, next episode in 2 weeks. I don't know, no new games. There's 2 new games next month that I'm looking forward to. RE8 and Subnautica Below Zero.
Oh, there's one thing I think we'll probably talk about on the next one. The Mortal Kombat movie comes out Friday.
Does
So,
it? Does
a
it
new
appear
video game
on?
movie.
Does it appear on any streaming services?
Only if you're an American. It's on HBO Max.
Well, I mean, I got ways around that.
Yes.
Okay.
It will be on HBO Max.
Thank God.
So, yeah, we'll probably talk about that next time. I love talking about video game movies. They're awful. I love them.
The trailer don't look bad though.
The trailer looks pretty sick. I'm actually super excited for this movie. I think
Yeah,
it's going to
me
be
too.
awesome.
It'll probably suck, but you know.
It'll look good.
Yeah, yep. And you know.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
Pretty colors.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it. Also, for this is basically for the people who I don't know who this is. I'm trying to have like a schedule when I upload the stuff on the YouTubes. I do all the work nowadays. Like I do the thumbnails, which is the work that I did not do previously. So I'm trying to have like a schedule when the episodes go up, so they should like appear at a set time in the future. And I'm still not sure how I would achieve this. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna be live tomorrow, probably with Isaac.
Fun. I'll probably play Wii Sports tomorrow, so that'll be a trip and a half.
I actually won't be streaming tomorrow.
Wow, you've been on the grind recently, Joe.
I will be back next week.
Woo!
Finally, after almost a month gone.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. See ya. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.